Oh, this is exciting. We're going to be casting the finals of World Desert Championship 2 Sand League. So this is the semi-pro league, the league that's just underneath the standard league. And here is our map draft, all finished up, just waiting for the Civ draft to come next. And the last was Burgundians. Okay, Burgundians was actually played on Anza Borrego last time in the semifinals with, who is it? LACA and Friends versus Killing Generation Brazil. And it didn't work out for the Burgundian players. But we are into game number 1, World Desert Championship 2, Championships, plural 2. And we have the first game on al Samim. Very open desert. We have piles of food, piles of wood, but otherwise very open, lovely looking water here in the middle, using some terrain masking to get all that done. And we have Malians versus Franks. So both players just dropping their TCs almost immediately in the middle, gathering around their sheep around their town center, and using maybe a few sheep and a mule cart to identify where the resources they want are. But I was talking about open maps and the difficulty of having enough no house? Okay, we are building a house. Sorry, I got distracted there. The difficulty of finding enough civs that really thrive in this very open kind of state. These very open maps. So you're choosing which civs you want to have on a very open map and which civs you want to utilize in a very closed map. We have already a difference in strategy. Blue coming out to get the deer or the ibex on the backside with the mule cart that both players start with. Usually the mule cart is just an item or a building / unit that you get from your civ, but in this case the players were able to start with them, and that is what they're using to scout, along with a camel named Admin. Kind of funny that's what they're named, but yeah, when you're a map scripter you kind of get free will over how you want to do things. Campbell's trying to be very safe about its positioning, and there's almost nothing to tell you where the town center is. You just have to be on point and very quick. Yeah, and Red trusts that the camel would be able to get away. Campbell could try to go under the town center and steal some goats, but it would be very difficult to really get very far with them. And now we see Red also going out to the ibex with the mule cart. And so, yeah, mule carts are going to be very important for these players as they try to move around to these different resources. They're all very separate. You're not really going to be able to stay in one spot for very long. The resources will just dry up. And then we do have some Gaia units in the side here with tents. Cavalry Raider, not a light cav. Interesting. I think that's probably about the same upgrades, looking at the bottom left on Capture Age. Seems to be about the same upgrades for these units, though. And yeah, just scouting around for the moment. And it feels like this is the type of map where it all comes down to feudal play. And it almost feels like Georgians would be great for this map, being able to use additional mule carts, build additional mule carts if needed. But the players just went for still fairly aggressive civs with Malians and Franks. Franks do have somewhat of a shortcoming when it comes to late feudal age, because their civ bonus of getting extra HP on their scout doesn't actually affect, or it brings the scouts to a slightly lower total HP than if you were able to research bloodlines. So I think in very late feudal age they might be at a slight disadvantage. Malians do like playing a lot with the scouts plus archers in these types of competitions. The game sounds a bit too loud. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had him loud for YouTube, the YouTube video, while we were waiting for the game load, and I forgot to change that, so appreciate it. What's up, Ray? This map is absolutely ridiculous, but it's also very impressive to see what people can do with map scripts and just put it all together. I am curious to know if the Frank bonus actually applies to these piles of food, because they aren't actual forage bushes. I assume so, and I assume they checked that. These villagers are having fun pathing. Hopefully it won't affect their uptimes. And so yeah, no deer pushing on this map, though. They were able to use the mule cart to move around for the mule deer, and both players were able to found the opponent's TC without losing their camel, which is impressive. These camels don't have much speed, and there's really very little here to tell blue, or red in this case, Sobek, where the town center was. I didn't actually mention who these players were. So Sobek, I think, is probably the higher rated player in this matchup. I don't know their ratings offhand. Oh, I should also update capture age. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do... Let's see, reset. Because this isn't going to work for the 1v1s. I guess I can just, yeah, set it for each of the 1v1s. Oops. And we can fast forward a little bit to catch up to real time. So both up at around the same amount of time, very little idle time. Camel sees the wood pile that's being taken, 10,000 wood on that. So I guess you don't mind if your mule cart runs out, or if you lose your mule cart, you're not like at a severe economic disadvantage. So camels are trying to see what the play is. Interesting. The mule cart hasn't gone out for these second set of ibex. I'm guessing that, yeah, blue has scouted all that. And do these camels have food on them? They do not. Okay. So it's just the second set of ibex that each player has. And red is indeed using that as their main source of food, in addition to the berries and the last sheep that's under the town center. I imagine it's going to be scouts for both players. Scouts plus spears. And, yeah, interesting to see. It just comes out to micro. If you wanted a micro fight that still had the lead up of Dark Age, it's not like either player can really take a big advantage, though. This feels like it could have been an Empire Wars map. Obviously, that's not how the tournament is set up. The pile of food has turned into a forage bush in my graphics. Interesting. Maybe the pile of food only has graphics for when it starts, when it's big, but when it decreases in size, sometimes you have like the graphic animation changes, and that's what we're seeing here. The capture rate feels a little bit choppy. I don't know if I can reduce or set a limit on frame rate. Maybe you guys are not noticing that. Or maybe it's just something to do with this map, so I'll just let it roll and assume I'll make adjustments if needed afterwards. You swear you played something similar versus Masty James and he stole my sheep, so I resigned. I'm not sure. I don't think that. I think this one was in the first World Desert Championships, and so I don't think this is one of the new ones that won through the map. What do you call it? The map contest. So just keeping these scouts in the stable for now, and we do have a scout and 2 spears coming across, very AI fashion. Okay, and we're going to try to lead the scouts straight to the units, but... okay, scouts just trying to wrap around. There are the spears to scare the scouts away. No pokes, no pokes, no pokes. Okay. And scouts are just going to go forward. Red spear is here to help deal with any early aggression from the scouts as the villagers finish off that last ibex. Oh yeah, it's really choppy. Alright, I will not do the follow command. And we have a tower here on the woodline, which makes sense, because your woodline's going to stay around for quite a while. So you might as well protect it. That's like a very constant resource position with how much wood's left on that. Almost 10,000 on that pile, and almost 10,000 on the other pile right next to it as well. So yeah, just a plain old scout fight for the moment. Nothing really to write home about. Bit more HP on these Frank scouts, because they already have their advantage here. And 3 spears for red, for Sobek, 2 spears for Acro. Ooh, scout's getting a little bit close. Ooh, right in the middle of things. Don't think red wants to take that fight. That's some serious damage on what is just a micro fight. Acro's really going to need a few more spears to try to help balance this out. Is floating... sorry, Sobek is going to need some more spears. Is floating some food. Almost seems like ready to stop scout production. No, still is producing scouts. Maybe it was housed? Not sure. Acro's feels much more on the limit in terms of what can be afforded. But interestingly, did not take these deer. kind of curious by that decision. Spear goes in. A little bit of micro, trying to get as many hits as possible. I think did get 3 hits out of that, so probably not the worst fight. But now we're taking a fight maybe on the hill here. I think, yeah, the Malians are in a better position. And they do come out of that with more HP. No villager kills yet to talk home again. Ray, this was 2 years ago that you played that map, and you're still tilted. Interesting. That's how I felt today when I was playing with randoms on multiplayer. I had a teammate in a 2v2 who just decided to go FC without telling me. And didn't wall. Didn't team wall as you normally do on Marketplace, where you wall to the middle as if it was Oasis. So, yeah. That was a very fast quit once I realized what he was doing. There was no point in playing on when I was getting 2v1s. And my teammate hadn't walled his side of the map. Speaking of walls, we're seeing very few from either player here. I mean, what do you wall to? You can do a little egg wall over time. Red does have to watch out, make sure the spears are well positioned here, because that is a lot of Frank scouts. Only have about half their HP, but it matters more about how much damage they can get in once they get it on the right position. But yeah, Red's just doing a great job of tracking where these scouts are going. Sobek is on top of it. Is a Villa ahead, mainly because Acro, I guess, has been a little bit limited on the food coming in. Maybe that comes down to not taking these Ibex out here and sticking all the villagers on wood, but of course, getting a lot of farms down, those Frank farms with free horse color in the process. Still trying to track those scouts. I feel like the scouts could maybe do damage on blue, maybe now that he's going out on gold. And we do have archers in the process as well. I didn't catch that transition. And it's kind of interesting because it feels like Franks could just, I don't know, keep up scout production, getting armor now. And with, okay, we are making a range as a transition here for the Franks player. And blue, trusting the 2 spears here to defend his gold. I think red has an opportunity here with the faster transition. Going in now against the spears. Archers trying to take the fight against... Yeah, I think red's taking a pretty good fight here. Spears are just still going off into no man's land. Armor does come in, though, for the scouts. And if we look at total HP, the archers weren't really fighting during a portion of that. And I think these Frank scouts are going to be able to do it. Now red's just trying to take them out as far away from the action as possible. And yeah, I just think it's a curious concept to decide to switch into archers this early. I think I was expecting it to go to second stable first. Now we have the market here as both players are... Sobek seems to be thinking, okay, maybe I go up soon, but there's still a lot of scary scouts here. I guess you could just rely on your spears to be in the correct position. Villagers are still out here. Oh, you can collect food from the camels. Okay, so I was incorrect. Oh, it does say 140. Maybe these... There's Ibex. Oh, that was the admin. Okay. Can't collect food off the admin. Scouts coming in. I do like this wall around this wood. You can wall in the wood fairly easily, so that makes sense. And yeah, just gonna gate it. House walls. And villagers seem to be able to path around, but... Oh no, not the mule cart! That's what I was saying. The mule cart can be very valuable. But it is quite beefy, so it is able to withstand some scout taps. Isn't going to go down too easily. Was blue trying to bait the Gaia units into attack red? That's interesting. And yeah, Sobek is trying to go up. Okay, has clicked up. Interesting. So I'm guessing it'll be... We're just on 1 range, 1 stable at the moment. Wondering if it's going to be 2 range archers plus camels. Oh, spears need to be in position. This is tricky. Very tricky for Sobek to stay alive. Acro really coming in here, but needs the archers to stay around. And of course, also paying attention to the economy back at home. Very far behind in terms of getting up to castle age. And needs these archers to stay alive to take the fight against the spears. Bloodlines, of course, not going to come in for Franks, but we do have forging and the armor. Choosing now to attack under the TC. We don't really have much of a garrison here. Slow garrison into the TC. But the spears were staying alive long enough to really take out the scouts. We do have more spears, or scouts coming around, I should say. And should still be able to do some damage to Sobek, though. Is it going to be enough damage before Sobek is up and can make camels. And I mean, with this number of archers, the camels should be able to clean everything. This town center has just been garrisoned forever, though, it feels like. And how many stables are we producing out of? Just 2 stables, okay. Yeah, Acro's just convinced that this is going to be a full feudal play. Do still have spears coming out. And it seems like Acro, or it seems like Sobek is holding after all of this. Archers are only able to do a minimal amount of harassment. And there is Castle Age plus the first armor coming in for Sobek. We have 2 knights being queued. And yeah, it feels like knights can just clear up all of this. Now Acro, I imagine, okay, just panic down to market. Need to do some resource. Bought 300 wood and is selling gold and able to click up now. And we have second TC out on this gold, okay. I mean, yeah, Sobek's a little bit limited on gold just because of the harassment here. So it's not like he's able to produce a ton of knights right now. Scouts trying to come in are just going to meet the spears. I mean, you can take that fight. Can you get any more damage off of this afterwards? Trying to pick off the vills, it looks like. Because knowing that, yeah, trying to take out HP on the knights isn't going to be that great of a process, but maybe also not paying that much attention to what's going on and just trying to wall up at home. We do have 2 knights here for Sobek. I'm guessing just with the first armor. First armor and forging. Or no forging. Yeah, no forging. And yeah, Sobek has a clean eco now and the advantage, but is down 10 villagers. No wheelbarrow for either player. So it's up to Sobek to either make up that villager difference with a faster second town center or just killing knights. And I don't really favor Franks in Castle Age either. The camels could be an addition that makes it very difficult. The mule cart did garrison. Trying to garrison a villager back in there. It's tricky. Acro dropped a 3rd stable, so just counting on stable production afterwards. Could try to quick wall some villagers in here on the gold, but it felt like maybe did need a few more quick walls earlier. Trying to fight the knights off because they are weak. Archers are just kind of sitting around, and it looks like Sobek has found enough gold to produce enough knights to make this very tricky for Acro. Acro doesn't have too much gold, is getting the second armor already, okay. And Sobek a little bit focused, maybe too much on this tower instead of keeping Acro off gold, because gold is what's going to allow Acro back into this game if he can start producing knights. The score does not look pretty, though. About 600 score down here. Villagers forced out from the tower. Wood is not going to be the primary concern right now for Acro. It's just going to be getting out knight numbers and taking good fights. This is not one of those good fights. I think the armor could have been skipped and just produced more knight numbers, to be honest. Last knights trying to run away, trying to pull all of the knights away, and the game gets called. I'm assuming there was a GG in there as well. If we look at statistics real quick, economy, or just the overall score doesn't look too different until, yeah, Sobek made that bold play to go up after losing that fight in Acro's base, but it did pay off because he was able to wall in his wood and wasn't damaged too much. Military numbers were great, and then they weren't great, and then they were great again for Sobek. Economy was looking pretty good for both players, fairly even, until Sobek took the foot off the gas to go up to Castle Age, but then caught up pretty quickly afterwards. And technology, Sobek was always in the lead. Interesting. What would that be? Oh, exploration. Okay, just using the camel, aka admin, a little bit more. So that is game 1 of the 1v1s. And now it's up to LACA and friends to try to come back and get 1 win. It's a best of 3 out of the 1v1s, and whoever wins that best of 3 gets 1 point. Oh, I hear the penguins. I assume that was penguins I was hearing. Yep, penguins over here in the corner. So we are into game 2 of the 1v1s. We have Beery in the blue. I need to change him to red. And we have Philip in the blue playing as the Byzantines. The middle has plenty of fish to fight over, but it's still a very open style map, and you do have water around the outside as well. The players have chosen Celts versus Byzantines, and it is not actually a nomad start, as I had previously thought. These penguins do have 1 attack and 15 HP. I don't think they can kill anyone, but I don't want to speak too soon either. So, because the deer are very easy to push, players can get away with just having 5 on food instead of the typical 6 on food to keep up villager production before they go out and build their lumber camp. But Philip is choosing to stay with 6 on food. And actually, it looks like might just be taking stragglers instead of a lumber camp. And where's this villager going out to? Okay, just actually retask to build the lumber camp while the scout pushes in the deer. I don't think we see any boars around. No, it's just going to be geese, deer, penguins, and fish as the mammal or the animal food sources for this match. But quite a few to pick, so it almost feels like Mongols could have been very solid pick for this map with how many deer you're able to push in. I guess the lack of boars might offset that. Ray says, on the OG Arctic Circle, I think the penguins had 10 attack and were Gaia, so you could collect them. That's kind of crazy. I forget who made this map. I want to say either Hank or no, this was the Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter? Yeah. Who has made plenty of Excel tools as well for map scripting. So I can imagine there's been a variety of... This is also one of the older maps that was not freshly made for this tournament. See a villager coming to the back. I'm assuming to dock. Yeah. We have a dock queued here. It might be 2 on the shorefish. There's plenty of room for villagers to take shorefish. And blue is going for the forward dock for the shorefish. Interesting. I do like how you could just make docks right in the middle of the water. It's kind of interesting. And wait, that's so cool. It looks like the swordfish are under the water, under the ice almost. Or sorry, the marlin. I'm getting my my Arctic fish incorrect. How dare I, as a biologist, get that incorrect? That's some decent scouting here from Buri all the way around the outside. More and more villagers looks like are being sent to the back by Buri, and I mean, when I see Celts, I kind of think like, okay, are we gonna go for a full siege play? But we also have seen Celts on these hybrid maps because spears have bonus damage against ships. So it might be the play where... This is so cozy. It might be the play where you just go for a little bit of spear harassment into FC with your superior siege workshop. And I assume that Philip is picking Byzantines because with the fire play, you can do a lot of damage. Though, if he stops pushing in deer, he'll notice that his opponent is not on the middle water, but actually on the outside water. I assume both of them are going to click up shortly. But I guess without the boar, yeah, Philip can't really go without pushing the deer. Very limited on food under the town center if you don't push in the deer. Do have Loom coming in for Buri now. And 2 fishing ships, or 3 fishing ships versus 2, so a little bit faster onto those fishing ships with the Celts as well. And I feel like that one goose from, or 2 goose from Buri doing a lot of work in terms of the scouting score that we see right now. But yeah, the alternative is you just have all your geese under your town center. I guess there's still a few geese here left behind, and it looks like it's going to be predominantly a water approach from Philip, going for the second lumber camp. Now we're gonna have a lot on wood. Make sure that he can get whatever buildings he wants upon arrival to feudal age. And do we have Loom in? We do have Loom in for these villagers as well. And that way, okay. I was wondering how I see all of the texts as they come in, because I think in the team game version of Capture Age you do not see that. And we do have a little villager out here on the side, just moving about. Oh, would you? Would Buri notice it if he loses a sheep over here because of a villager? If you look at Buri's vision, oh, it looks too natural. Just like the continuation, you think, oh, maybe my sheep just like went to the middle on accident and I misclicked it. So it looks like we're gonna have a dock over here by Philip as he's walling in to the middle of his town center. I don't think he noticed. Oh, he did see the barracks. Okay, with the scout. So he knows the militia might be on their way. Doesn't want to deal with that and is doing some very quick walling to the middle. Excellent. Did this get... Oh, I guess... No, you don't want to skip that. And... Yeah, Philip started bringing this turkey back. Oh, no, sorry, not turkeys. The geese are leaving. The geese are leaving. The Celt Steel is engaged. And that scout is going to go down very quickly, trying to still keep the geese, but you can't steal geese back from Celts. That is one of their civ bonuses. Scout's just going to have to go on a big journey, and it looks like one villager is going to go down here by Philip. Don't know where that villager was supposed to be, but we do have a dock here and fire galleys being created by the Byzantine player. So Philip knows what to expect. It's just a matter of having the resources to do anything about it. Very short on resources here with this build, but does have all the fish in the center still working. These units aren't going to do too much against the fishing ships. The fishing ships would outrun the man-at-arms. We have 1.03 speed for the Celt speedy man-at-arms, and the fishing ship is 1.26. So as long as Philip had the actions to task, would be able to move that around. And yeah, these geese are just going all the way around. That's a lot of geese, actually. That would have helped so much for Philip to actually keep up his town center, though he does still, of course, have all the fishing ships to help with that. Just more fishing ships being produced here for Biri, while the fire comes around, threads through the penguins to come attack. Looks like it's a successful defense here for Philip as he builds an archer range to defend himself. Ooh, sneaky tower, but Byzantines see that. It's just a matter of actually reacting to that. Philip, I think, has the wood for that. Okay, now reacting. But I think that tower still goes up. You ideally want to like stop that tower from going up at the last second, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. Philip definitely under a lot of pressure, and yeah, these red fish are just running. We do have the scout here to help attack the fish as well. Needs to get the tower up and repair at the same time. Oh, that's really tricky to repair and try to get the tower up. Tower goes up. Cheap skirmisher can also go into... What is this villager doing? Can go into the tower, and this villager, okay, gonna path the other direction. No way, dude. Stop bugging out. That's so frustrating. And now we have fishing ships just going every single direction. And Biri's thinking, okay, I did some early pressure. I'm gonna double down on water and try to win the water fight, now that I know my opponent can't make any more fires, really, because he's not on gold. But should be able to win this tower fight if these man-at-arms can't really help attack the tower, since, you know, there's a tower there. Can't attack the walls because the tower is there. The geese are finally making it all the way around and into Biri's economy. Perfect timing. Biri forced to put down an ugly farm because he's running out of food, and has... The Philip is actually the one with all the idle time, unfortunately. Almost a minute of idle TC time, so about two villages worth. Meanwhile, we have the fight on the other side. Philip trying to path his fires away from the repairing villager. The villager could have followed that fire as well. And going to lose the villager. Does indeed lose the villager. That was repairing. That was one of two villagers, and the other villager just goes and runs for it. Where is this villager going to go forward? Is it going to come forward to try to repair the fires? It's such an interesting firefight when you can just repair both your fires out here on the lake. Though I think Philip needs to pull back, buddy. Yeah, losing fires, focusing maybe on the middle, though that demo was definitely going to end that anyways. So it did force a lot of Red's fires. Oh, Red's moved his fish over here. Biri being very inventive with these extra villagers. And it looks like Philip will be able to get back on this gold now. Could add some more units. Okay, and Philip's going to be attacking on the water again as well. Still has all of his central fish very safe. Not really had any aggression against those fish. And tracking the Celt army as it moves around. Though there is a hill bonus here for the Celts if that comes into play. Antarctica by Zetnus had penguins with more attack. Okay. Interesting. Oh, second tower now. Was that purchased? Or are we on stone? I guess I could zoom out and see. I don't think so. I think that was purchased, but I don't see a market. Unless I'm... What am I missing here? Did villagers long distance the stone? Oh, we did long distance the stone. Wow, okay. And that's how we have enough for a second tower, though that's being denied by the skirms that are just sitting there. So now it really feels like who's going to get up to Castle Age first. Philip did have his economy disrupted a little bit, and it's now Biri that's increasing in the idle villager or idle TC time. And not because of a lack of food, it seems like, just maybe a lack of attention. And now we have the villager here to defend as well. I don't know if the penguins can tank damage, but Philip a little bit lacking on the attention span here. But maybe can use the stock and this repair villager to help out. Oh, fire, okay. Fire's taking a decent fight, but yeah, not really getting its full value as it could. But I guess when you have man-at-arms running into your economy because they've broken in... Oh, I guess right here, you might be into some trouble. What? Okay, Philip's focusing on this other side. Does not see the man-at-arm. Is it man-at-arm? Okay, man-at-arm's not going to get away from that. And now we have some repairs on these fires. Villager's going to go back to work. Okay, so Philip is sticking together and is about ready to get up. We do have this tower. So frustrating coming up on the gold. That villager just must have pathed around, and then the skirms, I guess, just didn't notice it when it came forward. That's going to be so frustrating. Okay, so one skirm actually forcing this tower to not be finished. That's huge for Philip. Cannot be overstated how important that is. And we do have the fire in the middle tracking so that these fishing ships are not harassed. And yeah, pretty similar Castle Age times, to be honest. And now I kind of worry about Celt Siege being a factor. And, ooh, the fires in the middle as well, or the docks in the middle as well, might be a factor. This has been, yeah, quite an interesting game already. A lot to pay attention to for both the players and myself casting. And very inventive, I must say. It feels like Philip is mostly reacting, and that Biri is on the front foot so far. Fire a little bit inactive. And skirms have just decided to dive under the town center. I'm worried about getting trapped there, bud. Oh, there is an exit. Okay. They have an exit strategy. And then now the fight, the attention is coming to this left side, or right side. Skirm's trying to get in here. I think there's a tile. Yeah. They're going to be stuck a little bit. And we have fires being produced in the middle as well. And that's, got to be said, that's a lot of the economy here for Philip. Not really winning these skirm fights. The overall KD is in Biri's favor as well. But 1,000 more resources has been collected. Fires going forward now. We have War Galley and Elite Skirm coming in. And War Galley coming in for Biri as well. And the very important bow saw upgrade. Ooh, Siege Workshop in behind. This has been the highlight villager of this game. That's such a sneaky Siege Workshop. And just the fact that these skirms haven't been able to close down that villager has been very frustrating. I wonder if we're going to see redemption as the counter to... Oh, look at that lumber camp too. As the counter here to the Siege Workshop. Because between the Siege Workshop sitting in the back here on this gold, the fires in the front, and I'm guessing Biri's just going to have an untouched eco at home. Plus the stable potentially sending in knights. It's going to be very difficult. KD increasing in Biri's favor, though a lot of these archers and skirms are being cleaned up. Though the elite skirm not going to be very viable against a lot of these units that are being created now for the Celts. The age of the ranged unit is over. Long live the age of the siege units. Very good notice, though, by Philip here. I guess he did have his attention here because the skirms are here. Yeah, dodging all of those shots. But I guess now that you've cleared up the skirms, you can move over to this other side. It's so limited in space. I think at this point I would open up some of this, some of my base, open some of these walls, and try to get more room for myself because he's going to be... Yeah, he doesn't have the food to produce out of stables. He doesn't have room for farms is what it comes down to. I think I might call this. I mean, obviously it's not up to me to call, but... Okay, you might be able to win in the back, but Beery's even paying attention to that. Moving all the fish over to the other side as these fires try to chase the fish around. I'm liking the kelp pick here a little bit more now than... I mean, the spears weren't even like a major factor in the game, but I think there's going to be some major market shenanigans in order to produce enough camels, even cheap Byzantine camels, to push back these siege units. And we have a monastery now for our kelp player to be able to convert what few camels can be created, and the pikeman upgrade coming in as well. Fires continuing to move around. And I think because these fishing ships weren't sent to the corner, the fires will be able to feast. We'll look back at that in a second. The Skirm plus Spear army is coming into use as Philip has sent them forward. But I don't know if they're going to get a kill. Okay, they are going to get a kill on that villager. But now I think the spears are just attacking there. The camels actually made it in on... What happened back here? I don't know where Beer's attention is being sent to, but oh, I guess the knights went in and Philip took that opportunity to go attack the siege that was in the back. So actually not a bad play here, though Beery is really advancing in terms of economy units. A little quick wall, does get the quick wall off in time, and these knights are more or less trapped, so I think the camels can finish them off, and they are watching for additional siege, though you do have to worry about the pikemen. Camels are not going to be doing the best against the pikemen. Did clear up and feast on those fishing ships on the back, and now wrapping around to the other side as well. As I hinted at, camels dying to the pikemen in the back of Philip's base. But I'm surprised that Philip is able to make enough camels, or has enough food to make these number of camels. Is he going to delete that, or is he going to try to fight the monk? And that is a converted camel. Defending his next position of... Oh no, the fires are going back. They're not noticing that Beery has all his fish up here. Ah, the penguins. Stalwart defenders along with the one fire ship. And we do have a demo waiting for the fires upon their return. And I think these skirms are going to be cleaned up very shortly. So yeah, I think at this point, as things settle down... I mean, it's not really that settled here for Philip in his base. With converted units, healing by monks. Switching back to archers now to deal with all of this. And then, of course... oh, trapping the camel. Very interesting as the mangonel rolls in. I was going to say, as it slowly calms down here for both players, we can see that Beery has quite a significant economy advantage. There's not really any fish alive outside of the ones on the right here. And we even have a war galley here to clean that up. That's all the war galley's built for, right? I don't think the war galley would be able to range too much. Though I guess, okay, war galleys are being made in the middle here to range the woodlines. Very nice. And maybe these villagers are trying to do something. Will they be spotted? I think they've been spotted by the knights. The camels need to come back. Though we do have 2 more villagers. Ooh, these are just the faint villagers. Like, oh, no, sorry. I didn't actually make it to your base. I was just kidding. I wasn't going to make a siege workshop at your base. You caught me. Yeah, nothing to worry about. That is something to worry about, though. If the war galleys can't range your economy, a forward castle will definitely range your economy. And Philip doesn't even allow that to come up. He calls it... He was just penned in, really. He was on the back foot on land since the beginning of the game. And I think that's a matter of not being able to scout what your opponent's doing because you have to push so much deer in just to get up at a decent time. I feel like Celts just ended up being a better pick on this map until maybe like really late game, but this feels like one of those aggressive maps again where you have so much going on. I guess fires are nice because they can win the match up 1v1 with a Byzantine fire against a Celt fire. But overall wasn't enough. Celt's just a little bit smoother with that extra wood economy coming in, allowing you to transfer to so many different ideas and react to so many different attacks. Yeah, war galleys were coming around, and just, this back base proved very successful for Beery. Even though he got 3 mangonels taken out early when the Knights came in and kind of got trapped. That was pretty much the highlight of Philip's game. It felt like the skirms that went forward were just getting cleaned up and weren't able to do enough damage. They were just able to confirm that Biri was on multiple town centers, which is never what you really want to see from your opponent. If we look at the statistics real quick, the main unit for both players is actually the fire ships, though neither player really seemed to get much out of the water. Weren't really able to secure it to the point where they were going to be able to boom or, yeah, take a lot of the fish successfully. It almost feels like people were over-investing in the water because it's so hard to... I guess as long as you're forcing your opponent to move around as well, it might be worth it. Hard to tell. Philip did have the military lead. Raisings versus losses. Okay. So he was, I guess he was... What was he killing? I mean, it's not that many buildings. It's 3v2. I guess he was taking down towers. That's what it came down to. And then one conversion. The monk just converted one camel. Economy was pretty similar. You could see the Celts had a slight edge, and then that increased significantly once Biri was able to drop that second town center. And so much of Philip's economy was being idled by the random aggressors outside the wood lines, and the towers going up on the gold. And then technology advantage to Biri. I'm guessing that started with the early ecotechs and continued with fletching and such. So the 1v1s go in favor of DarkSide. And I can update that 0.3 to a full 1 point now. And we are into the first 3v3 game. On the left side, we have the German team LACA. Immediately, the scout is going to try to take the control of the castle. It does, I believe, has to get through the stone wall at first. And Blue going forward with the scout to try to, I don't know, do some laming. The packs of 2 llamas are just being sent around together to scout. And we have control of each of the castles. Purple about to control his as well. Okay, so we have Portuguese controlling the castle and Vietnamese controlling the other castle. On the other side, for the German team, we have Berbers controlling a castle, and the why did I just forget the name of the civ? Bengalis. Okay, glad it's still listed there, controlling the other side. Meanwhile, the rest of the map, we have a lot of relics and the deer at the top. Then we have a dry river valley with a lot of the stone in the middle, so you do need to fight for control. And then at the bottom, we have some fish. I guess we have some shorefish at the top as well. Curious to see how these players decide to play this map. It's very open in every other regard. Could be wallable. I guess, yeah, you're not going to team wall. Team wall into your castle, maybe. But I think this is a new map for this round of the tournament. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm excited to see how this turns up. It's like a very nice mix of aggression and forcing players to, you know, move towards certain resources, though a lot of the golds are pretty safe in the back. And green, what is green doing? Maybe just the villager tasked the opposite side of the wood line. That's what it seems like. So the German team are down a point. I guess I can show that here. Because they lost the best 2 out of 3 in the 1v1s. They're being pushed from very far away. And Castle slowly attacking the wall so that units will be able to exit. Why did Yellow's Castle destroy the wall so quickly? It's interesting. Maybe just remember to task it early enough. Might be all it came down to. Oh, okay. They already have holes on the backside. And Teal might have a hole in the backside. Or maybe they just forgot and they just reminded each other. Could very well be the case. Do we have a boar steel? No, okay. But we do have a dock coming up from the top. I feel like this is walkable terrain, but maybe that's just the terrain masking is different. Almost feels like that's walkable terrain that you could just kill this villager on, but she seems to have walled herself in a position where that would not be the case. And docks on the bottom side as well. Purple, yeah, just checking to see if there is a Vil Snipe available, but Teal had the scout in position to protect the villager while dropping the dock. And then the pockets, meanwhile, are just forced to push the deer from quite a far ways away if they want a competitive cast or feudal age time with these players that are getting the fish boom. Not much else to speak about. I guess I can try to guess at what the composition will be. I'm guessing these players are going to play it like Arabia during feudal age. I don't see like any really strong power units, except for maybe the Vietnamese could go FC Rattans. That's a food or a wooden gold unit that's not too expensive, so you can get that out pretty quickly. And with the extra pierce armor, that might be viable when you're up against archers from the Berbers, especially if they try to go camel archer. Yeah, I'm not sure. And we do have villagers walling on either side of the shorefish. Or of the dock to collect the shorefish. Nice big wood lines here on the outside for the northern players to utilize. And blue and red both going up very quickly. Probably to, yeah, contest the water. And I guess they are quite close together as well. Is Red noticing? Okay, but knows that that fight isn't really an issue here. Red rebuilt the wall. Okay. Blue's harassment was successful, I'd say. Loom coming in for green and yellow. It almost feels like we have mirror builds here from these players according to their position on the map. Definitely seems like these teams have both played this map extensively so far. And yeah, just tracking what's happening. I don't actually think they're going to fight on water. I think they're just going to be fighting on land because they're so close together. If you try to fight on water, you're going to die on land. And both players a little bit late with their barracks. Just because of how tight these builds have to be in order to, yeah, be competitive. And stable from our Tatars player. I like the Tatars here because you're a little bit limited on resources, and having the sheep last a little bit longer does feel quite nice, I think. Purple and teal also on the way up. Could be a... Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be FC for them. Yeah, walling up. No sign of barracks coming up. And teal, likewise, not even bothering to wall. Just assumes that this is, I guess, standard play for the map in the position they're playing. Scout could harass these fish a little bit. And there is a fire here for red. Just the one. Just to stall out the fish prediction, and the fish is just going to run away, force the fire to follow. In the middle, we have a fight with a scout and a spear and a scout that died. I'm wondering where Turs originally took the damage on the scout. Maybe just fighting another scout at the beginning. Running into a spear, though. That's not how you want to spend or have your second scout. It's a very short life, I guess, for that scout. Learned how to be a scout and then immediately just kind of died off. But not ideal. Meanwhile, teal back at home, about to be up, and blacksmith or market blacksmith, yeah, and purple doing very similar. Nice little wall up here in the bottom corner with the blacksmith, just about a villager faster, deciding to get loom once in feudal age instead of castle age. Okay. KD is kind of being evened out as that spear dies off, and we do have scouts for both players. This is really interesting to have scouts when you're this open, but I guess, I don't know. It's just easier to control. Why would you go scouts in this position instead of archers? I guess archers are just a little bit too slow to mass. What do you guys think in the comments? Scouts versus archers. I guess scouts can also harass multiple different enemies. They're not limited to just attacking your opponent, who likely would also have scouts or something to defend with. Where's Turs's units? Is Turs lacking the economy to produce units? I mean, we have so many on berries. We have the sheep that are still under the town center because they last longer. And green doing a good job walling. Should be able to wall in time. Oh, there is a gap right here. Notice it. Notice it. Ooh, I like those quick walls. I like them very much. And walling to the town center a little bit. And then on the backside, just walling as well. Yellow, yeah, just adding their own scout. And it looks like it's going to be FC for everyone but the northern players. A little bit of scout fight here. And there is the castle to utilize for the German team. Oh, losing that scout. And walling to the castle as expected. That's Vil. I don't think that Vil's... I'm just going to say it right now. I don't think that Vil survives. Too many scouts here. But we do have some Ratha here to help protect. Trying to block. Yellow's trying to block. And the Vil survives. That was incorrect. Okay. What upgrades coming from each of the center players in this matchup. And Blue continuing to make scouts. No town centers yet. It just looks like it's unique unit production. And we do have organ guns being produced by the yellow player. It just feels like they take so long to come out. But actually will be in here in time before the wall-off completes. And I think organ guns win against scouts at this point in the game. Yeah, quite beefy. I guess if you're going up against the player that doesn't have a siege workshop yet, organ guns are going to be good. Churs X's that, like, hey, I need some units here to help. And I think the Ratha in melee mode will take out the organ guns just fine. Red has pretty much one water here, allowed these fish to continue being produced. And Ratha are now trying to come in on the organ guns. Meanwhile, purple and teal in a bit of a fight in the bottom. And we have camel archers against... Ooh, more town centers, actually. Okay, we do... Because the Ratha... Rattan archers, sorry, not the Ratha. Rattan archers are cheap, I guess. Sobek feels like he can boom as well as produce the Rattans. Ratha are able to clear up the organ guns as expected. And Turs is probably just thinking of going up as well. Did build a tower here. And yeah, Ratha are just... Ooh, pulling back the weak Rattans. Or Rathas. Man, having Rattans and Ratha on the same match is quite difficult for me to keep track of. Scouts coming in here. What do we see? Yeah, the scouting isn't terrific. What about the other team? Much better scouting, I'd say, for the Argentinian team of Biri. I mean, I can kind of understand that enough organ guns plus support from other units could be a very deadly... Look at that. Bodkin arrow coming in for both players at the same time. And Rattan archers are definitely going to have the edge over here. But I feel like siege for the German team in defense could help quite a lot. Don't take the fight. Don't take the fight. They have so much pierce armor. Where is it? 4 pierce armor already. Versus your camel archers 0. Or sorry, 1 pierce armor. I don't know why I couldn't find it. I was expecting to have it like second in line there. Scouts pulling the Ratha towards the middle where the organ guns are just sitting. And I like this scouting here. I really like this from Turs. Just scouting around, figuring out what his teammates can try to hit, taking Vils in the process, and then just running back. You don't really need to engage with the scouts. And we can see Red pinging where the aggression should occur from his teammate, where they can try to get in on Turs, who is going to be on Castle Age at around the same time as Pella. Castle's still working away at the walls. And we have second TCs from both of our players in the south now. And pinging the camel archers. The camel archers don't want to go under the castle. I don't think, no ballistics yet for any of the players. But these camel archers are very mobile and forcing the Rattan archers to just play catch-up. Are taking a few kills. That's quite nice. Do have Bodkin. And yeah, just run away. This is exactly what you want. But you don't want to get stuck. If Sobek just leaves the scout right there. Okay, doesn't leave the scout there. No, he is. I would just love to just leave the scout on do not attack. And just leave him in the choke point so the camel archers can't get past. I mean, obviously, all it takes is Philip to take one shot against the scout cavalry, and it would have gone down. It's only at 7 HP. Now getting ballistics for the Rattans so they can actually kill the camel archers and not just be chasing for the remainder of the game. We do have a random house back here. I don't know what that would have been about. It almost feels like the town center was queued in the wrong position. But we have 1 scout cavalry plus the camel archers, and the Rattans don't know where the camel archers went. They don't know if they loop back around, and that's kind of what they're worried about. But they have indeed moved up here with the Rattans to try to do some sort of combined attack. Although there isn't much to hit here, but it has given them a lot of time to just kind of chill. We do have cavalry upgrades coming in for both of our top players, who are going to be sticking on knights by the looks of it. 2 stable for both. Or 3 stable, sorry, for Tatar's player. And a little weird pathing. I guess the stables, yeah, choosing to send his knights right here, it looks like. Oh, and camels. Maybe to track down these very weak scouts that have just been sitting around and causing a pain. Yeah, this is the problem with the organ guns. They're slow, and without the reinforcements, they just get gobbled up so quickly. They have very little armor, so it really feels like the German team, despite being a little bit weaker in a 1v1 setting, they have the communication, and they seem to work well together. Blue Xing over here, saying, hey, look, more organs. Come feast. Come feast with me. And he's like, okay, I'll send my camel archers over. No problem. Or I'll send my Ratha. I'm going to send my camel archers home. Rattan archers have... Where are the Rattans? I mean, I could just click here. What? Oh, it must be in between 2 locations. Okay, we have a lot here chasing the Ratha around. But Ratha can just switch to melee mode and just raid, attack. They did get Bracer now. Trying to wall off in the back now for yellow. So it's just awkward when you have units in the back. Ooh, Rattans are taking a decent fight here. I think with some hit and run, with how awkward and slow these Ratha are, I have to be very specific about which unit I call out. And they can't just move back to this town center. And they'll get a few more shots after Acro pulls back his units. Do they have +2 armor? No, they don't. They don't have any armor. Beside what they start with. Which is... Oh, they do have 2+2. Oh, do they take... Well, they're archer armor. I guess they do, yeah. That would make sense. So they are quite tanky. Under town centers. I don't know why I thought they had cavalry archer. Or, yeah, cavalry armor. But they just have 1 armor and then 2 different attacks that they have to worry about. Mangonel coming in against the Rathan archers. Good vision, oops, sorry. Good vision, I'm assuming, for Teal, but needs to get that attack ground down a little bit better. But I think Siege is going to help them quite a bit to deal with this. Nice shot. And yeah, Siege Workshop plus a few knights, if they come over, could do the trick. Knights being sent into the castle, interesting. I don't know if that was on purpose. Green's got to watch out with those stone miners, unless... Okay, the Rathas are just going back, because they have camel archers running into their base now. A lot of chasing here by the Vietnamese player. No ballistics yet for any players on the German team. So the camel archers do have to get quite close to their opponent to take the fight. I think the camel archers can take this fight. Yeah, they are one-shotting even the high pierce armor units. And they can just sit back here and really idle all of the wood economy from... I guess there's still wood economy, and yeah, Sobek's finding alternatives all the same. Will he notice that that just opened? Yeah, he can spot the villagers, so they are going to be hunted down as well. Overall, KD is in favor of the German team, especially with Philip getting most of the kills here. I guess that's Eco KD. How do I see total KD? Yeah, Acro's had wonderful KD with the Rathas too. So yeah, German team winning in that regard. But I guess overall eco, they're winning as well. So despite the slightly poor start here by Turs, they've recovered. And look at these Rathas. Yeah, Rathas and Rattans. These Rathas are just feasting. We have some on range mode, we have some on melee mode. But it feels like melee is mainly what's needed. And yeah, winning on villagers and military. They're identifying, I guess, some areas where they can attack. I don't know why he's pinging. Oh, he's just pinging the fires to maybe come attack Red's fish traps. They're finding every little advantage that they can utilize. Lone organ guns coming across aren't going to be very successful. Maybe just leaving the fires in the middle could also be helpful. And the first non-Gaia castle being built here to protect this little desert shelf towards the middle of the map. 3 mangonels now here as well. And yeah, Acro with the Bengalis are going to get extra villagers once he decides to get up. We have handcart coming in for 2 players on the German team at about the same time. It almost feels like they have a little reminder that says, get handcart. And ooh, Pella looks like under trouble. They are just straight up attacking the town center. Not many units here to help manage that fight. The few organ guns that are going to come in are just going to get mopped up by the knights quite quickly, it feels like. And I think that's going down. Meanwhile, we have the camel archer just finding little pickoffs, even though there's a tower here by the woodline. Very ugly woodline. And they are calling GG and giving the well played on game 1 of the 3v3 sets. This German team, they're like 16th seed, but they feel like they have such good chemistry when it comes to the 3v3. On a 1v1, they're not playing at their best, but you give them a team game and man, they just seem like they were on top of it. They had the initiative what felt like the entire match. What's up, Javi? That's a nice pyramid. I don't know what you're... Maybe you're referring to the Portuguese castle. I guess this was the Gaia castle because it's supposed to reference a Inca relic that these players, regardless of their civilization, are able to take control of. I don't know if you can set... I don't know how you set, like, what graphics are used for these castles. Maybe you set Gaia to be Aztecs or something, but yeah. Really well done by the German team. They just slowly ramped up an eco lead plus a military lead, and there wasn't much here for the what is this Argentinian team to do? Yellow Forest. What is this castle? This is such a backwards castle. I mean, their economy wasn't where it needed to be. They had no mobility is what it came down to. I was questioning the organ guns, and maybe at the beginning they looked good with the early pressure against a player who's not up yet, but Turds did a good job of getting up at a decent time and was able to capitalize on it. We do have some transport ship, so I guess you can't cross this little green water. Transport ship collecting relics. I don't think that was Red's biggest issue here. I think the issue was not having the same number of stables as his opponent, because Turds was immediately on 3 stables production. Yeah, I like the civs better here for the German team, and we'll check. I guess we can switch over and update the scores, and then I can see if they're in the next game. So just like that, it is 1-1. Didn't take much for those 2 1v1s to be equalized. Where's the... There we go. Are we starting? There we go. All right, so we're into game number 3 of the 1v1. I need to give a point to the German team. And... Oh, wait. Players don't all start on the same side. Okay, no, they do start. They're just not all on the same side of the river. Okay. These are some beautiful trees. Beautiful birch trees. It looks like he's picked one of every individual birch... Or no, this must be just my... Man, there's so much going on in this map. I don't know where to start. I think this is just my small trees mod. So green's pulling in 2 deer at once, as red is trying to fight the faster scout, trying to stop this lame 6 fills in the town center, 2 shots to each boar, and fills get out and take the 2 boars. Very smoothly done here. Then we have gold within this little, I don't know what to call it, ruins, I think is what was described in Wikipedia. And purple coming out here for the wood right in the middle. These birch trees, I assume... Oh, they have 500 wood on them. Okay. So these are some beautiful birch. You can make some nice furniture out of them. Some nice houses. Meanwhile, Teal just going for the board that's over here. I don't know if there's anything to talk about with these Gaia units. They seem like they're just here for decoration. I can't even click on most of them. You just see missing string and such. Capture Age doesn't have it doesn't want anything to do with this. It's purely decorative. So yeah, not much to talk about. They make the pathing better. Exactly, Grath. Maybe Huehuecoyotl wants to tell us, because he is the map author, if there's anything to talk about with those elements, the Gaia elements. I do like this city, though. Pretty neat to protect all the golds. Can make it confusing, I guess, if you're a new player entering it to it, but also fun to explore. So the forward position here is Biri playing as the Incas, and we have Gujaras as the far pocket. I thought that was Hindustanis for a second. And then the middle pocket, I guess you could say, is Romans. Interesting. I feel like we're going to have double cav. I guess Sobek as Gujaras isn't going to be playing the same cav, won't be playing knights. But I imagine Romans will be mostly be playing knights. On the other side, we have in the forward position Philip, they switched colors, playing as the Huns, so he doesn't have to build houses. Currently being fought off from his lumber camp by 3 villagers, and just taking stragglers instead. And these villagers are going to, I guess, fight it off. This is like not the Inca rush that I remember seeing back in the day. This lumber camp, I think, might go down. We have 1 villager to repair and all the rest to fight. Oh, it did go down! Not enough repairs! Just poor timing there. And yeah, red's just going to run back, so there's no point in trying to chase that. The green and yellow scouts are just there to witness what happened. Very odd. I don't know whether that was worth it for red. I feel like blue could have just sat around with 1 villager and tried to repair it a little bit. But I guess when you're in this forward position, your role really is just to be as chaotic as possible and try to survive with as many villagers as you can. All players are going up to the feudal age now, so they're probably all going to contribute in some way to the military. I don't expect to see any ships, just because they're very limited into these shallows. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a TC drop could be something that was on the cards as well in these kind of games. Loom now just coming in for purple. A little greedy, but makes sense when you're in the deep pocket. And I probably can just leave my my view on this little section right here, and that'll probably tell us most of what's going to be happening in this map. We do have villagers that made it through here. Oh, you control the tower, I guess, once you get close to it. So just able to jump through there and able to take gold in a somewhat protected situation. Yellow adding a stable, purple adding a stable, teal adding a stable, and green adding a stable. So all in all, scout fight with just the middle players, I guess, adding ranges. They're just adding barracks for the moment, but I imagine a range soon. I like Gujaras here when I guess all the scouts are going to be fighting the same spot. The Gujara Camel Scout is going to be helping out with a little bit of extra bonus damage. Did we see the extra bonus damage? 2 versus Camel, 5 versus Cavalry. I don't even know what to call it out. Oh, we have forward tower. Okay. And yeah, the counter tower. I thought the villagers were just going to rush this down. These scouts are just moving back and forth in like the same position, running away from spearmen. This could really use the what is that song? The song where everyone's just like running in circles and nothing actually is being productive except for maybe these towers going up. It's the only thing that's actually being productive in this fight. I can just drag over everything. You can see a slight advantage for the Germans in terms of, I don't know, something, HP. Villagers try to come forward to fight. Tower needs to be retargeted towards actual units, and I think that's what just happened there. Yeah, I mean, these center players know that they're going to be losing units. teal and green scouts, though, just feel like they're going back and forth in circles and aren't actually fighting. Now we see the fight. Yellow is a little bit late to the party. And it feels like it's a better fight for the German team. If I scroll over, yeah, we can see a lot more units here for the German team. I think red might lose quite a few villagers trying to repair the tower as well, but maybe a little bit too aggressive here. Didn't have the reinforcements needed, and yellow kind of joined the fight a little bit late. And yeah, blue can go back to his woodline now. Interesting that blue got in here onto this gold, whereas red forced to take this gold by the Gaia units. There is a relic there. Interesting. Blue trying to make it back to the tower. Oh, that's bad pathing. What is this villager doing? I guess... Oh, a little quick wall. And yeah, if we look at idle TC times, not too bad, except for the Slavs player. I guess some people do have, like, creeping up to a minute, just trying to produce as many scouts as possible, as quickly as possible, and leading to a drop in the villager production as well. Why do we have double mill? Did we have berries? Oh, we have 2 different berries patches. Okay. So our Huns player taking those berries very quickly. I do like Huns here where things are very chaotic and you don't want to be housed at any point. You need maximum production at all times. Also gives the faster working stables bonus to your allies who are both going to be making scouts. Blacksmith coming up to help with these archers. Archers are just sitting around the tower and the range for right now. Meanwhile, back in the back of the bases, it seems very peaceful. Players are just booming up, adding farms, going out to golds. Yeah, not much to speak of. Second stable going to be created here by Acro in the deep pocket. And meanwhile, teal as Chinese. I didn't even mention those civs. Chinese, Slavs, and Huns. I just mentioned Huns, I think. Chinese feels very strong here. Especially when you know you're not going to be... not going to have too much early aggression because the aggression is just going to go towards the central players. Feels like those extra villagers can really pay off in a big way. And they do have the slight eco lead at the moment. They're just camping this little ridge line. And it looks like we're going to have a fight between the 2 players. Green scouts. Okay, just tracking purple scouts back here. Blue pulling back. We do have fletching in for both the archer players already. But we are going second range. And red already has the second range. And we have 10 archers versus 7 archers in favor of the Argentinians. But slightly better engagements to start off for the Germans. Teal needs to engage here and does so. Wow, yeah. The Germans are doing pretty well. Managed to snipe off both spears that were here. And now Teal can just engage as much as possible. But we don't really have many reinforcements. They are kind of camping the archery range. That's a very odd gate. Just to, like, limit, I guess, the mobility of the archers. I feel like you just lost 30 wood for no real benefit. Trying to be fancy. But yeah, not really working out. Bloodlines coming in now for purple. First one to get bloodlines that we have forging for yellow. Forging for all the scout players already. Armor coming in for blue. I don't know if that's worth... No, in an archer versus archer fight, I think armor is worthwhile. And third range, so we're just going to be full archers for our Huns player. Wow, red almost looked like it has ballistics right there. And blue, where's blue going with these extra... I guess you need more vills on gold. And, ooh, yellow might notice that blue is in here. Players getting housed left and right, mostly on the left, though. And yellow's pinging the different areas where probably wants red to add archers. But archers are, yeah, coming in here. Probably just saying, hey, there's more archers coming from behind, just to let you know. So just keep moving forward. Yellow trying to tower hop, it looks like, and unsuccessful. Or maybe just, you know, focusing on the cav, so hasn't been able to tower hop yet. Okay, now the tower hop. So we have 2 players right next to each other. And just passing? No, we're gonna have a Vil fight. We're gonna have a Vil fight. Let's go. Yellow's like, no, I don't want any of this to do with this. I'm trying to micro over here. My scouts. Blue's trying to micro archers. Blue's not having to worry. Yellow's like, okay, maybe if I just sit by this tower, everything will be fine. Nothing will happen. Okay, deciding to bring the scouts over. Scouts can't tower hop, though. Are the scouts going to try to get through the walls? And red can tower hop. Okay, so then, yeah. I don't see blue getting too far with any of those villagers. Red getting nice and close. And that will definitely give red the edge here. I guess they didn't track where these archers went. I feel like that was Teal's responsibility. If blue stays in this tower, can red hop back through it? I don't think so. So I think the vills that are in the tower are safe. But blue deciding to... Oh! Red took control of the tower. Oh, it must be whoever has villagers nearby takes control. And blue, I guess, is just giving up those villagers. Knows there's no point moving over to this other gold. And now the team that had the advantage in terms of economy with the Chinese start definitely does not have it. Green forced to make a tower as well. And nowhere clicking up to Castle Age. Wow, everyone just made a tower on the wood line. That's just like, everyone's accepted. That's how this works. Teal did go on to stone all the way in the back here. Maybe thinking, I don't know what you think of. I mean, I feel like Chukanus are really not going to be... I guess just more stone for more town centers. That makes sense. We have bloodlines in for all of our scout players now. Full upgrades in the scouts, and the first one to click up to Castle Age is Sobek. Thank you. My view count has doubled since I showed the actual game. Thank you. I didn't know that's what it took to actually get viewers on Twitch, but it makes sense that you guys just aren't just here to hear my voice. Teal pulling back, unwilling to take the engagement against both the villagers and the scouts. I almost feel like Khmer might not be the worst on this map. Wolf coming in to do some damage. Of course, the tower auto-engages against those enemy Gaia units. And we have another tower joining the ruins here because, yeah, Yellow's villagers are fairly exposed otherwise. I guess that was the only tower from... No, Yellow had a tower here. Maybe long distance mined some stone earlier. I guess I could check. 350, 350, 350. Or did buy it? Yeah, we do have market, so that could have been the play. So yeah, we just have scouts all over the map now. Players just trying to take good engagements wherever they can. And I think blue might share the favor back with red and jump into this old city, though red does have archers nearby. Knows that's the exposed part of the economy. And yellow might be the last one up, it looks like. Last one to click up. Pretty significant idle TC times for all the players at this point in the game. Approaching 3 minutes for red, being in the central position, which is, what, 6 villagers? But they do have a significant vill lead all the same. Red deciding to pull back just because almost up to the next age. And blue deciding, okay, maybe that's a good idea. Wait until I can get my upgrades. But the overall aggressive position has moved a little bit. It's almost like tug-of-war on this map. You try to move the point of aggression a little bit closer to your enemies, a little bit further from yourself. And now blue will be able to get upgrades. Red is getting those upgrades a little bit faster. And it's just a lot of light cav upgrades for the moment. I don't think we have any knights coming out on the field yet. It looks like it's just camels plus scouts. Scouts willing to engage here. Barely even fight, but of course, once these archers get all their upgrades, now crossbowmen. Oh, blue, you weren't fast enough to those upgrades. Still have like half a minute to wait. Of course, no ballistics, so it can just move back. And more coming in to engage against these red units. Players aren't really sure, it seems like, where they want to take this engagement. Everyone's kind of spreading out. Purple going very deep. And it seems like blue and red are just happy to fight against each other. Micro v micro. Blue again taking better engagements, it feels like. Has that micro down. Argentinian team still has the economy advantage, and they felt a little bit more composed in this match than in the previous matches. This feels a bit more straightforward, literally a straight line through the middle of the map. Grath, you hate the trees in the middle of the map? Like the color or just the fact that the pathing is absolutely ridiculous with all these trees? So far, the players have made it look like pretty straightforward, but I imagine they're like, why is my villager going there? Why is this going here? Red getting nice and deep with those crossbows and further advancing the villager advantage for their team. Blue, meanwhile, just moving the crossbows back to try to protect the gold since they lost this gold on the side. And still unsuccessful at moving red out of that gold pile. It really felt like blue needed some extra stone to drop a tower here. It feels like that's the meta once you get into the ruins. Yeah, red really doing a good job of idling a lot of farms. Blue forced to come over here to help. But I think this might be a cleanup here. I think red might have gone a little bit too deep, though blue doesn't. Blue does have the second armor upgrade. There's just enough crossbowmen on the hill to do the damage. So the tug-of-war position of aggression has moved deep into the German player's team. No ballistics. Or no, we do have ballistics for both the archer players now. So red has a much better position here on the top. And all those Gujarat camels are very deadly. I think the archers have to focus on them, the crossbowmen from blue. And what I thought was going to be a clear-up, once the Gujarat camels arrived, turned out to be a clear-up in the complete opposite direction that I was expecting. Look at this pathing. Yeah, that's exactly what you want to see. Spears not helping whatsoever. Okay, it was a clear-up at the end of the day. But it really took quite a few units. I don't think the KD was in the favor of the team. It looks pretty even in terms of military, but when you see the villager difference, you're like, okay, not ideal. And now we have yellow just streaming knights into the very open Hunnic base. A few teal camels somehow managed to get all the way up there. Good job whoever lost a unit and led the camels up there. And yeah, blue losing units left and right. I think that's mainly where the villager difference is. Only 30 vills, or 28 vills versus the 57 for blue's counterpart. I'm wondering what it would take here for the German team to get back into this game. They're going on to pikemen. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like Gujarat just was a really good pick for this map. Yeah, we have extra TCs for all of the Argentinian players, but meanwhile, these German players are just forced to produce as much military as possible to try to move that point of aggression a little bit further to the left. Yeah, unit stacking is really forcing a lot. Like, look at this TC, it's so ugly. But this is your best wood line. I mean, it doesn't fit, like, the theme of the tournament with very open maps, difficult to use wood lines, desert maps. And Chinese adding more camels. Taking a good engagement here for the German team. But they're going to call the GG. They do not see the win condition here. Probably noticing the score creep higher and higher up. They're down by like 1,000 points each. Yeah, similar production. It just came down to where they were taking fights, I think. And the Vil count was just so far in the Argentinian team's favor. I don't think there's going to be much to look at here. We can look at KD. Bury with those archers did a really good job finding those ideal engagements. 2-to-1 KD ratio. Some of that also is just killing all of Philip's villagers on that top gold. And yeah, I guess once you have some sort of military advantage, you just take better fights across the field. And that is indeed what happened to our Argentinian team. And so they even out the score 2-2. I have a feeling we're going to be going to the last game again. Economy, as expected. I guess Acro lost a lot of vills to the red crossbows coming in as well. Bury's crossbows. And APM, everyone's favorite stats. Philip's going with some big peaks. I imagine that's some Expo Micro. Yeah, fun map. Not maybe my favorite, but fun variety here. Here we are, Anza Borrego. Feels like home. Feels like San Diego. The key features of Anza Borrego are these little ponds that exist, one in each corner and a one big one in the middle. And the terrain that's right along the edge of the lakes cannot be walled. Same with this grayish terrain. So players have to make slightly larger walls if they want to protect their fish booms. Similarly, if you're trying to wall the middle section, we do have the shallows in the middle that units can path across, and you can't wall to the water like this. So you have to either wall the entranceways to the lake, or wall, the entranceways over here. Meanwhile, the players are competing for sheep in the middle. Teal sent some sheep forward, which is a little bit odd, right towards Pela's scout. And Pela's going to try to take those back, I assume, if he notices them. He does notice some. Why are they sending the sheep forward? Oh, he's sending it back. Sorry, the scouts are on opposite sides of the map from each other. That makes more sense. Meanwhile, same thing's being happened on the other side, but Green has helped and sent his scout over as well. Meanwhile, Yellow's coming back here to take these sheep. So there are a few different sheep. We have boars, 2 boars in each of these little, I don't know what to call them, little chaparral areas. I think I call them chaparral in the map script. So each player kind of has 2 boars more or less designated for them. And then you have wood lines in the back, pretty thick. And then you have the pond at the corner. Yeah, I think this is a great map. I mean, I wrote it, so it makes sense that I think it's a great map. What we saw last game with these players, at least the German team have already played this map in the semifinals. I guess the other team did as well, but I think it was a 1v1 game that they played, not the 3v3 version of the map. The German team, we had Bohemians in the same exact position, just held for a long time. Did wall off between right in front of the fish boom to this in this section of the wood right here, and then a wall off in front of Green's base. Green was Lithuanians last time, Saracens now, and then on the other side we had Mongols before, and now it's Italians. I think Mongols was a much better pick at the other stage of the map, or the other map that was played, so I think that makes sense. These boars can be a little bit far, so you might need a little bit of blocking with a sheep or with a scout, but these are professional players who can figure it out without too much concern. No eco KDs yet. Good to see that everyone's figured this out. And then, of course, villagers can come forward and dock, and that's exactly what we see going on. No deep fish in the middle. I thought about adding deep fish, but I didn't want it to be you in water and you fully control the middle. It's just something to help you on your way to getting a solid economy. Speed up the development, if you will. Meanwhile, these players in the back can get their fish boom. Any practice that they've done on a Black Forest will really come into play, and you'll see who has practiced positioning their fish exactly next to the dock on top of the fish trap, and who is maybe a little bit more of a novice, doesn't have those actions memorized in their muscle memory. So far, it's all quiet. Boars are coming in. I guess, yeah, timing your boar might be a little bit different than Arabia because the boars are a little bit further away. So you have to go out and collect the boar a little bit earlier on. Yeah, they're trying to push deer, and unfortunately, the deer are quite far to push. So not getting it that easily. Fishing ships coming out for both players in the middle as well. And Teal already starting to wall, and I like this. I think early walling is exactly what you need. I think, I mean, if you're going for this kind of strategy, I think the team that they played against last time just had very slow aggression, slower than I think is possible. I think you can have your scouts come out a lot earlier. And red going forward with villagers, I assume, for forward building. So I didn't mention the civs beyond just the start menu. We have Burmese on this side, and I feel like Arambai might be the play here. But I'm wondering where these villagers are going. Okay. What do they see? They just see to here, so maybe this is a wall? Or is this a sneak? Dude, if this is a sneak, I'll be so happy. This is something that would, like, tell me my map is viable. Okay, no, it's just forward buildings. Which makes sense, because the flanks, what is traditionally a flank... Look, another deer going back. I feel like that's my fault. as the map scripter. That's my fault that these deer are so far away. But really, that's not that far, actually. That should be pretty easy. If there was a sneak, I would feel like, yeah, I did a good job figuring out this map, having multiple viable strategies. But yeah, blue's going with multiple villagers to wall to make sure it's just a boom with the fish from behind, playing this like Black Forest. Green, not quite at the wall off stage yet. More focused on making sure all these villagers can collect wood. Did drop the mill, which is interesting. I guess you'd need that to get up. The fishing ships aren't effective enough to bring in enough food. And Green did scout the barracks coming in, so we'll know what's required to wall. Yellow needs to continue, and Yellow's going to make a range as well. It's more Teal that's just going for the fast castle approach, I believe. There, maybe not. Not going up. What's it called? You're going up pretty early and isn't on gold yet. Sending all the villagers to wood. Maybe this is more of like a fish boom and defend kind of situation. These villagers from red, did they go back? Oh no, they're there. Okay, I don't know why I thought I just saw militia there, but no. 2 villagers coming forward as well, and nice forward archery range. And the militia are mainly just there to help with the forward archery range, I think. Spearmen coming out to help, and we do even have man-at-arms upgrade for our Burmese player. Of course, these Burmese man-at-arms are going to have the +1 attack, and the scouts are trying to double team the man-at-arms and just slow them down until the archer production is out. And these men-at-arms have had a long journey, but I think their time has kind of come to an end as long as the micro here is good enough. Of course, we don't have any fletching yet. Blacksmith now going up for Turs. On the other side, it seems very stable. Purple going for an FC, actually. Okay, FC into Janissaries, maybe, from our Turk player? Possibly. Unclear. Behind that, oh yeah, only 3 fish being produced from blue. Meanwhile, teal, lots of fish. Spear wasn't able to finish the job. And yeah, it's just a matter of number of range units here. Almost feels like blue might have been able to get away with just 1 range, but they don't want to risk it because the rest of their economy is relying on them to keep everything open. Tower here. They are really ready to pressure this fish boom, and I like this. I like this variety of possibilities. I mean, the 3 men-at-arms can do some work, and the villagers are pretty far away. Do they get there in time to defend? I don't think so. Are they just going to go back? Or will the men-at-arms not notice that they got through? Nope, they do. They definitely notice. Can he still pound down the wall? No, they're targeting both villagers independently. And yeah, just not enough units. Why do we not have units? Teal now making units. I mean, he still can defend on the other side of the wall. It's not like the fish boom is completely dead and gone. And still enough sheep under the town center to keep up the fill production. But is creeping up now on idle TC time. I don't know what these men-at-arms couldn't attack these fish for. Where's Blue's archers? They all just go back. And losing villagers to scouts, not ideal. So Blue's had a very rough start to here. I don't know where the archer and the scrim died. Maybe just in the back on the wrong side of the wall. Green, meanwhile, looks like he lost water, but may not have competed on water. Last game we saw in the semis didn't actually compete on water. And skirms are being attacked by the villagers now. Eco KD not in Acro's favor. He lost Urda too. Might be the fatigue setting in now. These German players have been up for much longer than the Argentinian players. Will the Vills just rush down this tower? Yeah, it looks like that's exactly the case. Just rush down the tower. Added a scout as well to deal with the skirms. Because green is just trying to go up off of this. And is up. Adding some knights. And meanwhile, yellow has had the 2 TC boom. And therefore, their team has been in the lead in terms of production. Going out to the gold in the back that's nice and safe rather than the golds that are a little bit further forward for either player. Was able to batter down the tower. And now it's scouts versus skirms versus skirms and vills. And I think, I don't know. I was going to say, once you take out the skirms, you can just batter down the vills. The vills really aren't going anywhere. I think you do just, yeah, take down the skirms first. But you probably do want to chase down the villas, and of course the knight will finish it off. That number of villas won't make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. Just chasing back the units. Purple's been up, I believe, and yeah, going 3 TC with a little fish boom. Nothing compared to Teal's fish boom. This is what I like to see from these German players who play a little bit more of Rage Forest. They know the value of the fish boom, dropping multiple docks back there, and Teal now able to get up as well. And stonewalling their side of the map. Could be considered a little bit slow, but will be able to get up to Imp quite quickly, I think. But doesn't have like the fastest units, so that faster Imp might not be the most worthwhile. I assume both those villagers died. Yeah, I don't see any villagers coming across and now trying to wall that section right here. It's kind of a weird wall, but maybe that's just based off of what red sees. Green or blue did add 2 ranges, but doesn't look like they're using them. They're happy just to go up to the next age now. Maybe drop another dock once these villagers finish stonewalling. Yellow is up now, and that's the scary part, is how much production are they going to have? Looks like they're going to go 2 stable. I'm imagining either knights or step lancers, maybe camels, but that seems... it'd surprise me if they go camels. And Teal, what does Teal see out of Purple's economy? Sees the farms, or is that a capture age bug? Ooh, there's a little hole. That's a hole, right? That's got to be a hole. Or do we have... Yeah, that's not built. Teal did not show the hole. Interesting. Or maybe didn't actually click in. Oh, no, he's signaling the hole. Oh, so good. So smart. He's like, hey, green, you know, once you make a few knights, there's a hole there. And I didn't show them. There was even a tile, like, set to be built, but I guess the villager either was tasked back early or... Yeah, I don't know. A little missed task of units. Green checking to see what's here in the middle, and we do have a little opening here for yellow as well. And yeah, fish boom a little bit exposed. Multiple targets for this German team. Villagers or archers just passing. They don't care about this little villager. What they're after is this right here in the middle. This fish boom. It's funny how yellow has had the best fish boom out of all the players on this team, but also has the most exposed fish boom. Pinging that the villager is out here trying to do something. Probably trying to wall off. I doubt they were going to go forward siege from that position, but maybe. And red going for a very awkward wall with a lot of spears. One man-at-arm. Was it the original man-at-arms? Yeah, one of the original man-at-arms. And a skirm left behind to help out. And yeah, well, blue completely idling this dock. Pretty good. And green doesn't have a dock anymore, so can't really help produce anything like that. Could, of course, redock at any time. Yellow gonna send some camels. I was wrong. I thought it might be, what's it called? Step Lancers. Blue just trying to kill the last fish trap. More value there than trying to damage these camels. I agree with that. 4 town center now for purple. Has the siege workshop in defense if needed. Castle up for teal. This almost feels like a fast imp for teal. Very interesting. 4 town centers as well. No, we're adding 4 town centers for everyone, it seems like. Blue's going to be the last one up. And... Or no, red hasn't clicked either. And what is blue Xing? I guess that there's units coming forward from red. We don't have the Lithuanian player in this map, so these these relic positions aren't as important. We have 2 relics on either side of this wood line and 2 in the middle, and then 1 safe one in the back of each player's base. So quite a few relics, which means Lithuanians can be quite good on this map. You have a pretty good chance of getting 4 relics to get fully upgraded units. Ooh, green even snuck in here to kill the fish boom with the camel. I like it. And what is... I mean, I guess orange... Or, orange. Purple could send a monk back there to convert the camel and restore the fish boom. But yeah, I think the German team is doing a better job of communicating once again this game. But I don't know if that's going to pay off. They have evened out the villager count, even despite the cumin boom. Part of that might just come to being able to fish boom. Look at that beautiful fish boom. Oh, it warms my heart to see a beautiful fish boom like that. You might even say this is actually too many docks for what Bohemians are going to be creating. But you can always, of course, sling your teammates when the time comes. And, you know, you might not have perfect efficiency with the fishing ship placement. But yeah, Teal going across with the... Oh, I like this. using the Hussite wagons to disrupt the fish boom, and they're going to be quite effective at that. I don't think there's any units on the field that can really harass the Hussite wagons at this point. Maybe if you had enough knights here from yellow, but even these close confines really help the Hussite wagons. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have the combined might of the Cumans and the Burmese knocking at the door of our Italian player, who's going to drop a castle in defense. Fort castle as well for our Burmese player. Burmese player was the last one to get up the castle age, so I don't think this is going to be a fast imp race. The fish boom. Oh, he doesn't realize there's a camel. Just leave the camel there. Oh, they're too worried about killing the fish boom. I think you just leave the camel there. I don't think the camel is being noticed at all. Green's going to have a castle over here as well, and probably will be the first one up on their team. Purple up on the other side, though, after an okay fish boom, one dock fish boom. I'm guessing the camel either got converted or deleted. Probably deleted. I don't see any camel in purple's queue. And as Turks, I guess you're going to have... What is going to be the game plan? 2 mangonels. Some monks. I mean, monks aren't really... Or Turks aren't really known for their monks and... Wow. Wasn't enough knights to take out these Hussite wagons, it looks like. Maybe? I was going to say, Turks aren't really known for their smush, their siege and monk push. It looks like purple's just waiting for enough stone to come in to drop a castle. And Hussite wagons are coming across. I don't think purple would have redemption, right? Yeah, so if in a 1v1 I can check if purple has redemption, but in this game I cannot. Teal has had a crazy boom. 135 units, producing fishing ships still out of 5 docks. But I guess these mangonels are going to be enough to deal with the Hussite wagons. Already taken more than half the health off that Hussite wagon. And pushing green or blue off this gold. I'm really liking the aggression. Oh, look at this aggression. Green's going to need to make some units immediately. What does the green see? What does the green see? Now they see the capped ram come in, plus the petard. They're like, ooh, I need Mamluks ASAP. Look at all that military coming in. Luckily, there are some Genoese crossbowmen, which can pretty much deal with all of these units. Just need the Mamluks to deal with the rams, and they do a pretty good job of that. And yeah, okay, yellow's push might not have actually surmounted to that much, but it looked pretty good. If green didn't have units and was still busy booming, didn't have... I mean, green doesn't really have a fish boom. Just so many farms here. And I think yellow's castle, or blue's castle, sorry, might be struggling very soon with this number of capped rams. We'll need quite a few mangonels to help handle that. On the other side, purple's trying to wall off. We do have some yellow knights here to protect, and Hussite wagon just being annoying. I think... Well, let's see. We have 3 castles here to help with the Hussite wagons, and just trying to control this gold, which will be the this almost looks like we started playing a deathmatch game with all the barracks lining around the town center. On the other side, cavalry trying to come in, and we have 2 mangonels to try to deal with the capped rams. Genoese crossbowmen hiding on the other side of the castle. Can't get too close because they will run into the line of sight of the red castle, and not the fish boom. Okay, the Mamelukes go over there to help support the fish boom. Should be able to take out these units. Pretty good micro on the Mamelukes. But I don't think there's too many upgrades yet. No forging is just coming in now. Fight here with the Genoese, and the Rams are thinking about coming for the castle, but realizing they might be stretching it a little bit too much. Red now getting redemption. I guess it's just cheaper for the Burmese, maybe like a low eco approach, because they're definitely behind in economy at 56. Blue isn't that much further at 67, but at least had a better fish boom. Looks like just 3 fishing ships that were damaged, so not the worst thing. On the other side, it is somewhat of a 1v1. Purple with the faster uptime, and then of course the free chemistry. Did a very good job there of instantly attacking this side. And yeah, blue forced to repair, but isn't the worst thing in the world. Is getting chemistry now. Of course, you could say Bohemians could have gotten chemistry on the way up as well, since they can access that in Castle Age. And it looks like green is just trying to produce as many Mamluks as possible, getting all those upgrades now. Has a solid economy of 133 villagers, and is responsible for producing the trebuchets to help with this castle war that's out on the front. Condottiero. Wait. Oh yeah, Condottiero. That's huge. That Bohemians can make Condottiero in this matchup. I didn't even think about that. I was like, wait, what? Who gets Condottiero? And yeah, it's Italians on the other side. So Condottiero adding to the Halbs. That's a pretty solid composition, I think, for the Bohemians, especially on a massive fish boom. So I take that back. Look at that fish boom. That's our thumbnail. It was already the thumbnail for the semifinals in the same exact position, but it'll be our thumbnail again. Infantry coming in against the hand cannons of the Turks, but everything going down because the Condottiero tank so much damage, and now the Trebs can just stand right underneath the castle, where I think most of these BBC can't reach them until artillery comes in, and the Condottiero can feast on the hand cannons. That castle is not staying up for very long, already on half HP. On the other side, successful hold by the Germans. The Mamelukes and the Genoese crossbowmen are pretty much the ideal units you want for this matchup, I feel like. Gonna do a lot of damage to the cavalry and can snipe a lot of the siege that comes in as well with the Mamelukes. A lot of monks though, so does need to watch out that you don't have too many Mamelukes converted. Monks with what's it called? Redemption. You can see trying to click all the Mamelukes. Mamelukes are ready to go in, and I think those monks are gonna die pretty quickly. And that's pretty much all that Red is providing to this military. So that's all of Red's military gone in almost a heartbeat. It's trying to get onto oh, I thought that was a Arambai, but that's just a Mamluk that's been converted over there. Slowly being chased down. Will you get a conversion on the Ram or on the Mangonel? No. On the other side, yeah, Condottiero, huge in this matchup. And now the Turk player is switching onto Cav Archers. No significant upgrades now. Just Bracer and Chemistry. We'll want to get Heavy Cavalry Archer, and that's on the way. Sipahi eventually, I guess. Does have one castle still safe in the back. It's very important for Blue to regain this gold, because otherwise they're just relying on the gold and stone that's back here. And you can see it gets very messy. Trade being set up as well for these players. These cap rams are now siege rams, but just being left here. This is almost like the parking lot for old siege rams before they go out. 2 castles from the players. And yeah, very interesting how it's just 1v1 on this side and a 2v2 on the other side. I feel like more Hussite wagons could be very useful now against these heavy cavalry archers. It looks like the trebuchets are targeting the heavy cavalry archers, so they have to constantly move. Oh no, they're just targeting the walls. Okay, we have fortified wall come in, but a little bit late. I guess there's the second layer behind that could be helpful. And Hoofnies coming in for Teal. Yeah, I feel like Hussite wagons would be really nice here. These Condottiero don't have that much armor. Onager coming in for the Genoese, and big shot here. Genoese is going to need a lot of micro. I think the Mamelukes would be very helpful. Onagers are pretty good against both Mamelukes and Genoese crossbowmen. It'll all come down to see Sobek's micro, but of course, when you can just send these speedy Condottieri into the mix, then you're in a much better position. Mamelukes were trying to get in and see if they couldn't find a position of attack, and I think this might turn into quite a fun and long game. Though I don't see the Germans as in as much of a commanding position as they were in the previous game on this map. So cavalry archers sitting under 2 castles. They might have Sipahi. They're out of 100 HP. I think 100 HP is Sipahi, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, fighting under 2 castles isn't ideal, but I guess Purple feels like, yeah, you know what, I have the economy to support that. I've been mining a lot of gold, but soon to be out of gold. Of course, cavalry archers are usually one of those units that could just last quite a long time. But yeah, continuing just to make halves, which isn't ideal. And just plain Hussite wagons. Philip seems like he's just in a spot like, I don't know what to do here. I guess I send in the halbs and hope to get enough kills. These are like the best cavalry archers in the game. Arguably the best. Other side, Mamelukes are slowly cleaning up. But there's a lot of room to fall back to. Everyone is up to Imp now. What is Red going to be making as their unit? Now just getting a wheelbarrow and Siege Onager on the way for the Cuman's player as well. Mamelukes are in the middle, tier 2, to damage this fish boom, which I think is a very good play. And Yellow coming out with villagers on this side. Maybe to wall off this little section as well, realizing, oh, I left one spot a little bit open and accessible. Okay, so Green's providing onagers, which was the same role that the Mongol player was providing in a previous version of the game. But I think Purple's micro is going to be better with these BBC than we previously saw. It's going to be hard for the Mamelukes to pay attention to both. I don't know if they're playing both sides. I guess they might not be playing both sides. They just have Trebs the other side, which is very much a click and forget type of unit. Shoot, Onager, shoot! Yeah, very hard for this Onager to do much with these cavalry archers. Shoot! Oh, that's not bad, because these cavalry archers all went forward. So now if the Mamelukes snipe all the BBC, they might be in a decent position. The Halbs can come forward. This castle is no longer under immediate threat, but it's just a matter of, can you keep producing these Mamelukes and keep replacing them? The trade has started here for this team. Halbs can be replaced very easily with that big fish boom. Blue is targeting that side, saying, hey, I think this is open. And indeed it is. There is a castle being set up there for Yellow, realizing there is an area of vulnerability. And the Mameluke needs to go through. Okay, the Mameluke's going through. So are the Condottieri. And there's really nothing here to help defend this. There's a few stables, but I don't see any cavalry being produced by Yellow. We'll see if that changes. Okay, we've got panic castles in the base to deal with the Condottiero. And we did have a quick house wall. They need to target that down and really get in there so they can really feast at this. We do have Siege Onagers now to help. Doing a pretty good job. A lot easier for Siege Onagers to kill the heavy cavalry archer compared to the elite elephants from earlier. What was the previous game? Was it... Yeah, elite Burmese elephant, I think. Elephant archer, sorry. Elite Burmese... Or, not Burmese. Bohemian... Not Bohemian. Bengali. That's the B name. Elite Bengali... elephant archers. Yeah, Yellow's down to 138 bills, so maybe there was a bit of an overboom and not the biggest concern, but only 16 units, so I think they have an opportunity to attack here, but there's still like this big no man's land in the middle. Ehrenby coming here, and we'll be able to take out these Condottieri, I think. Siege Onagers are probably not going to be helping too much. Oh, unless the Ehrenby go backwards. And yeah, it's just a wall fest on the sides. Looks like, wow, the Mamelukes actually did really well against against the cavalry archers. I don't see any cavalry archers anymore. And I think Purple might be running out of gold as well. Yes, running out of gold. And they haven't started trade. I think the experience from the German team is really paying off here. I don't know if I missed a big Siege Onager shot or what. Bimarda-san coming in for our Saracen player so that the monks have an area of effect healing. Needs to keep producing those Mamelukes as well. Nice blocking here with the Halbs, making sure that the cavalry archers can't get in on the Hufnische. Meanwhile, 4 production buildings being created here for Blue to help support this attack on the left-hand side. Looks like all of those Condottieri were mopped up in the middle. And Yellow's back up to 147 bills. Back to the overboom. Maybe supporting the teammates as well. Who might have, yeah, slightly smaller ecos. Everyone actually has a bit of an overboom, it feels like. Especially Green. Maybe it just deleted some of those. Down to 142. Let's see if we can find the bodies. I swear they were just at, like, 20 over. They'd probably be on the wood line. Oh, these wood lines are still, Oh, yeah. Yep. Those are not leaves. Unfortunate reality. Could try to chop. I mentioned that in a previous match, but they chose not to chop. Ooh, big shot on both Siege Onagers. But I guess when you have Hoofnies, you can get through pretty quickly as well. Other side, Condottieri trying to go in on the siege onagers. The Arambai are there to try to protect. Really choppy game right now. I don't know if there's anything I can do. Maybe, I think it's when I click the units that it gets really choppy. So I'll try to just not do that. Oh, the artillery versus the Hoofnisse. Artillery bomber cannons versus the Hoofnisse is very tricky. I didn't click anything. Okay. Are these just keeps? Oh, these bomber towers. Where's the... Oh, yeah, okay. I see little cannons coming out. Ooh, double hit kill on the Hoofnisse. It almost feels like you needed some rams or the Mamelukes attacking the walls here to try to help clear a bigger choke point. Oh, up to the villagers. Okay. I don't know if Teal gets sappers or not, but it looked like they got that down pretty quickly. BBC, 2 BBC going down, so repaying the double kill now. And, ooh, that looks like some nice target attacks. I'm surprised those BBC stayed alive. And, yeah, I guess Purple found enough gold to make some trade carts, making trade carts out of 5 markets now, and able to replenish the cavalry archers as they go down. Mamelukes here to support in the back, make sure that Hoofnisse stay alive. Very interesting composition. I don't actually... Okay, Green's monks here. I was wondering where the Bimart de San was actually taking place, coming into play. And one Arambai back here on the trade, but is going to be cleaned up by the Genoese crossbowmen. Am I dropping frames? I don't see that. No, I'm not. Okay. That was my only concern here with the stutteriness. Ooh, big shots on the monks from the siege onagers. Though 2 more are being converted. Do need to watch out for that. Oh. Getting faith now. Is heresy in? Or was he just deleting the right... I don't know. Ooh, these Genoese crossbowmen are getting very close to the siege onagers. Big shots going down on both sides. One last siege onager up. The Mameluke able to snipe that. Going in for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I do prefer the Genoese crossbowmen in this matchup against the Arambai. Arambai have not been able to get up to a mass that has had any significant effect in this matchup. And this monk is here just to keep healing up the Mamelukes as they move around. Still just dodgeball on this side between the 2 rows of walls. Looks like Purple's trying to come in with some sort of maneuver. But yeah, I don't know what comes of this. It really feels like this team needs to cut around the walls and try to raid or something, but they don't necessarily have the more mobile of the units. All the Hoofnisse just going back and sending the Halbs in to, I guess, get whatever kills they can get. I'm kind of worried that my map's going to go very long, and I'm going to be casting this set for a very long time. Probably not ideal for the Germans either, who are playing in this set. Arambai trying to snipe the BBC, but unsuccessful. Arambai just have no accuracy, even after ballistics. Block printing coming in for green as well, so using the monks for both healing and to attempt to, I guess, attempt to convert some siege onagers that the Mamelukes don't want to snipe. These siege onagers are coming from a long ways away. You got a nice scenic view of this little desert lake near San Diego. And, I mean, I feel like you just sent some Mamelukes to patrol right here. And they do a pretty good job. Yeah, it feels like the German team are in a flow now. Teal just has to hold here. And, Green even sending the Mamelukes over to the other side. Because they see that they're actually pushing on that side. The Mamelukes actually matter there. Whereas on the right side, it really feels like, okay, it's just a waiting game. We're just playing dodgeball. No one can get close until dodgeball is completed. And dodgeball is never complete as long as these players still have gold and still have wood. Oh, oh no, Mamelukes, move! Okay, they were just baiting it. They just wanted a little bit more, more of an opening there. It really feels like humans don't have a good answer here against the Saracen Mamluk mass. Humans almost needed to make a move earlier, which they kind of tried to do with the capped ram play. It's just that the team was ready for them. It was maybe just a little bit too late. I think the only thing missing from this composition now is maybe siege ram to clear up some buildings very quickly. What does red have in here? 1 BBC. Probably not going to do enough here. And yeah, some onagers could cut around, try to get in on the trade. Still not that much trade, I think, for this team. Other team seems much more stacked with trade. Down to the last bombard tower in between the walls. Of course, we have 3 more behind. But Teal's going to have to replenish all this army. And switching over to skirms instead of just Halb, which will be helpful against the heavy cavalry archer, of course. And green providing some siege onagers as well. But it does feel like we have a little bit of an overboom situation here still for the Argentinian team. 60 or 70 vills more than the opposite team, and that's really impacting how many military units they can have out on the field. Yellow now providing light cav really feels like they're lacking in gold, and I think that is just a factor of not setting up trade early enough. Does yellow even have trade cards? It doesn't look like it. I feel like Paladin are going to be able to make a much bigger impact in this matchup than light cav are. And it's not like your trade is under attack here. Red desperately trying to keep this castle up. Mamluks are here, ready to party, force this castle down, and they trade very well against Erenbai even when they're all bottled up. Enough Mamluks moving away to try to take out the siege onagers, make sure they're not a significant impact on the population. And they're calling the GG and giving the well played again. I like that. I like that Beer is giving the well played. And I like that this game didn't go super long. We saw some novel strategies of trying to be aggressive. I don't really like that the team that tried to go aggressive, this is a best of 7, I think. Where is it? Settings. Casting. Best of 7. I don't like it that the aggressive team didn't win in the end, but I do also want the German team, who are 16th seed and the underdog, to have a good chance at this. So yeah, I'm not going to root against them. It's just in favor of my map. I'd like my map to have a variety of possible outcomes, because that's what I planned for when I'm writing it. Let's look at the statistics real quick. Pela's military, yes, Katie is really good, but wasn't actually able to push the Bohemians. Bohemians, I mean, in history, they were noted for being able to just hold a position really well. And then Turs with the Mamelukes, also very good KD. Mamelukes plus a bit of siege. Burmese didn't really contribute there, and I don't really blame them. I don't see what they could have contributed with outside of that early aggression. I think maybe just forward range without the man-at-arms. I mean, the man-at-arms did help quite a bit. But I also think they needed a better fish boom macro behind that as well. What else do we see? Not too much. I'm guessing yellow had the best economy. Yeah, because they had so many vills the entire game. Weren't contributing all that much, it feels like. Just trying to add siege. I'm wondering if I could make this to promote more aggression towards the middle. I guess once this opens up a bit more, there's more potential for that. Because players are just coming down these side lanes for the most part. We did see the condottieri come into the middle here, but they were a bit short-lived once these panic castles were put up. But yeah, longest game of the set so far. Probably just due to it's a bit more closed off than a lot of these other open maps. So Anza Borrego was a win for the home team. Preparation was important. Yeah, game started correctly this time. And I don't want to speed up that quickly. So we are on Amargosa for match point. I'm going to switch back the color. Oh, no. Players just switch colors. Hopefully that's still okay. We still have roughly the same colors for either team. So Amargosa, you have these little shallow rivers in between. You have this middle little island and woodlines and lots of hills. So tatters could be very viable here, but it looks like players are going for more of a mix of like what you'd see on Arabia. We have teal playing as the Koreans, green in pocket playing as the Khmer, and blue on the other side playing as the Ethiopians. The other team, we have Aztecs for Biri. In pocket, as Sobek, we have Magyars. And the other side, in red, we have Mayans. Yeah, resources other than wood are very exposed. No berries, so you're either putting your meal on the shorefish or on the deer. And I guess you could make demos. But I feel like a dock could block off these shallows. And of course, lots of wood on the outside, should you decide that's where you want to collect wood. Why didn't that board come back? Weird pathing. Purple, I don't know, saying bring your scout, we can take out some vills, maybe? Yeah, it seems like what they're saying. Purple's just going to stay around here, whereas the other players are trying to maybe push in deer instead. Yellow... Where's Yellow Scout? Oh, yeah, pushing deer on the back of his base. And red with the eagle also pushing in. So, double meso here for the Argentinian team. Does that give them, like, home civ advantage? Is that a thing? Second board coming in. 2 on wood. This, yeah, just feels like very Arabia-esque. I am going to fast forward a little bit just so that we get caught up in game time. So we're not too far behind, and I think at this point in the match, there's not too much of interest. Scouting for the German team has been just around their town centers, whereas the Argentinian team has found what other resources are around, or I mean, roughly where the enemies are. Just giving them a rough idea of what's around them. Yeah, nothing else to really talk about. Idle TC time is super negligible for every team. And they are up. I think this might be another situation where the German team, who have seemed to have had better communication, might also do a little bit better. Because this kind of Arabia-style map is a lot about just moving around your units and collaborating on unit positioning. Though we did see on the very uniform map of Tarim Basin, the straight line, you have your front, your super flank, and then your middle player, and then your super pocket. How the Argentinian team was just very strong. Some of that might have had to do with playing with Gujaras, and Gujara camels doing a lot of damage. And then I think it was Turs had a little bit of a slip up of having like 8 gold villagers go down. Really requires a lot to come back from that. Red, no barracks yet. Is not Khmer, so we'll need a barracks if they want to produce units. And now making that. I can imagine there's some rustiness that comes about this far into a set. We have a nice trail of scouts here. Teal probably wants to get out of there and just let green keep following that scout, but they're having fun. Yeah, teal decides to peel off and see what red is up to. Red building the barracks, just a little bit more defensive position. Not really trying to wall off at the top like teal is doing. I really like teal's wall quite a bit more. Now eagle comes forward. Is very vulnerable in feudal age. Did teal get housed? About to get housed, I think. And deciding to build... Okay, maybe just forgot to tap that range to finish it off. So yeah, very Arabia-esque start. 2 ranges for each flank, and then scouts. Yeah, not much else to talk about. I think I like Khmer a little bit better than Magyar's, but it's not like a huge thing. Oh, stealing the sheep again. Was it? No, Pella wasn't the one stealing the sheep last time, and this time is just deciding to trade the sheep for the eagle, which actually is pretty good, because you don't want to have to invest too much with these villagers. You mostly just want to send them on to wood and gold, so that you can just keep up archer production. That's what's going to decide a lot of these fights. Teal just sliding in with those archers, I guess forcing Red to ungarrison from the ranges. And Red just keeping the archers around the villagers that are exposed up here on the wood line. Teal thinking about going in again, but going to lead with the scout and see what opportunities are waiting. Probably going to lose that scout. Yeah, little odd choice to engage against the villager there, but maybe that was just a scout on aggressive stance. And then just the scout players fighting against each other. Slight advantage for Khmer at the moment. Red now getting, not Arbalist, fletching. It's been a little bit of a long cast for me as well, as it has been a long set for these players, especially with that last game. Yeah, nice thing about Khmer, just can jump into this house, and then, of course, ungarrison again when they need to. Not the same luxury that the villagers nearby have, but of course they can probably fight because there's so many of them there. I like this anti-micro. Ooh, Archer's deciding, okay, maybe I go in? TC garrisoned. Ooh. I don't know what this, what allowed Teal to take better fights here. Was it the archer numbers? 9 versus 3. I guess, yeah, it was just Red getting his archers out a little bit late, forcing Red to make a tower on this wood line and trading some villagers, though these are uphill hits against the villagers. And archers are still out of position, so these... Oh, this is actually really big. Teal's just able to stay here. Red doesn't have the production. Needs someone to help him out. I mean, even if the archers just stay under this tower, need, I guess, Yellow to come in here to clean up these archers. And Green has scouts nearby as well. Green deciding, you know what, I'll just feast on these guys and force Yellow to divide its attention between the two units. Red is looking so bad. And now the archers mostly get away. Mostly get away. Okay, losing half the archers, not ideal. And now Blue coming in as well. Everyone just falling in. And this is what I was saying about the German team, is that they feel like they have much better coordination. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Yellow coming over here to try to clear up the archers. Doesn't want to see them in the back of his wood line. Blue also trying to find some damage, but deciding, you know what, maybe we'll go to Yellow next. And Purple sending archers all the way around. I wish there was a demo. There would be no reason to have a demo here, but just when you have archers in the valley like this, it's just asking for a demo. Blue pretty well walled up. Just has this little patrol of archers patrolling the only real area where there's a chance for Purple to do damage. Sees Purple's over there and decides to pull the archers back out. And meanwhile, Purple sending these archers over here. And there are a lot of exposed villagers in this little shallow area. Blue idling some farms here from Yellow. Not much else that can be hit. This wood line's pretty safe. And yeah, the triple, the rainbow in Yellow's economy at the moment. What does Yellow have in terms of upgrades? Looks like forging, or no. Yeah, Yellow has forging and armor, getting bloodlines now. Kind of the one being relied on to support the team. Purple, ooh, is going to find some nice pickoffs, but Teal was ready, and I was saying, I think that's the communication. And I think Purple, this army gets cleared up. Could use some better micro. Yeah, Teal just moves out of the way until the scouts arrive, and then together they clear that up without too much of an issue. Didn't really lose too many villagers. KD for Red is 0 and 16. Oh, that's ugly. And Eco KD, Teal only losing 1 villager in the process there. That's so many kills. You're at 18 vills. You're at half the vills than your opponents. Like, Red's never getting up. He's sending just a few archers across. This is the kind of situation that, unfortunately, I find myself in pretty often in team games. And I'm wondering, like, do I just send my archers around now? Like, and just, I guess it makes sense, and hope they do some damage. We've gone on to Halo. This has been such a long stream that we ran out of Age of Empires 2 music. We went to the other Microsoft title, but I'll set it back to the Age of Empires music. Teal going after this gold. Get a little bit more production out of this. Yellow Xing over here as the triple now arrives to Purple's base. Purple has an interesting wall off here, actually. I think the villas have to go all the way around one of these wood lines. Like, if you go down here, you lose the height advantage, which isn't ideal. Red did actually find some damage here. Teal probably wasn't expecting that. We have some villagers somehow found their way on the outside. And Teal, do you have any... Yes, Force is sending the archers back. So actually pretty good timing here by Red. And then Teal forgot about these villagers that they had on the other side as well. Is Teal getting housed as well? Like, these feel like panic houses, not like the houses you kind of send away later. This villager also being sent back. And forced to abandon the wood line. And if Red just sits up here with some good micro, could be very dangerous for Teal. So yeah, sharing the favor and getting a bit more in the KD department, though not able to equalize quite yet. Meanwhile, big fight over here, but I don't know who I prefer here. It feels like Yellow has a lot of scouts and Purple has a lot of archers, and they're sitting under the tower. Teal's trying to micro over here, but... Or is that micro? That feels like micro. I feel like you should be microing over here. I guess in here you're just chasing and sending your villagers back to work. Maybe not the best fight here for the... Yeah, this is going to be a cleanup on the German team. Very questionable fight they took here. Maybe thinking they were in such a good position that they can just kind of end it and go next. Or I don't think there is a next here. But they are both up to Castle Age. Both the flanks are up to Castle Age before their opposite flanks. So as long as they're well walled, and we do have stone walls coming in here for Philip, then I think they'll be okay even after that rough trade. They are down 20 military units compared to the Argentinians. The Argentinians know this is our chance to attack, but they're going to be faced with the stone walls. How much wood is left on that tree? Still about 100 wood, and on that one, 32. Okay. Yellow probably will see that. Forgot, I can't be selecting units because it slows down capture age so much. There is a hole here. Scouts are in, but luckily green is here as well with bloodlines and all the upgrades to help out. Yellow probably noticed that there was that hole. Okay, purple and yellow are going to be up. Red's never going to be up, let's be honest. I did put an outpost here, which I really like. And we have double tower defense. Maybe this is what you have to do in these situations. Tower defense. Wait for your opponents to go somewhere else. Red has a lot of archers still. Oh no, villagers. Come on. Come on. Go back. Go back. No need for that. And we have a fight here. Yellow versus green. Green has slightly more HP, but really it's a toss-up as to who wins this. Just down to the engagement of killing the weak scouts first, having more bodies than your opponent. And it looks like green does successfully defend. Oh, one more scout left. Oh, there's more over here. Oh no. Blue, I think, is going to be the shining light for the team now. Because they are up first. Didn't have fletching that whole time. Oh, maybe that's why they took a bad fight. Now just getting fletching and bodkin. A bit of a mistake there by the Ethiopian player. Red up to 31 villagers. Slowly catching up. If they make it back to this, I'll be very surprised. And Red just sneaking the archers around. This is the question out for Red. You have so many... Look at this farm. This farm's hilarious. You have so many units that can decimate these archers now. Do you just wait until Castle Age? That's kind of like a waste of archers. I think you do what Red's doing and try to find an advantage. Just passing. Okay, green probably notices. I mean, green's not fighting anywhere else. Maybe they think that came from the front. Is walling up in the back. Purple in on the right side. Where's Blue's army? I guess Blue got cleaned up, and despite having the faster uptime... Oh no, it's back here on this shoreline. These towers are making it difficult. Blue knows that last time they dived in, they did not get the kills they were looking for. And maybe they're just going to go around Teal, trying to be very sneaky around these rocks, which most map creators just make as like extra decoration. But they do have collisions to them, so actually useful here for the crossbowmen. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Knights can clear up these archers, but I guess if you have crossbowmen as to help you out, it's not that simple. Blue's out in no man's land while he has crossbowmen in his base. No second TC. I wonder if Purple sold their stone, or sorry, Blue sold their stone. No clear way to tell. Archers might be able to do more damage. So yeah, despite being down in upgrades, these archers have still got 19 kills. Knights now trying to take the engagement, but the pathing around these rocks is terrible. Oh, I feel bad, and there's just too much here. I think the fight they took over the left side was actually worse than what Red had in his base at the beginning of the match. These Knights just can't do the trick. You need some crossbowmen to come help out. And Teal's still over here trying to see what's up. We do have Yellow bringing some scouts over, and Yellow's pinging where Blue's crossbowmen are, but Blue's taking a much better fight, actually able to path around here. Yellow just on the outside. Actually going to team up. There's going to be a second rainbow here, but it just seems like that team's doing a better job, and they do have score lead now as well. Blue allowed to come back in here to try to clean up these archers. And does look like got cleaned up over here, and Red will finally join the party. But will Red be able to keep the archers alive and get upgrades? Yellow really doesn't have many units. Actually, Yellow Scout's going back instead of choosing to fight here. Maybe realizing, okay, this is not going to work. Green trying to do some interesting micro to get actually in on the crossbows instead of mispathing all over the place. And it looks like it is a clean up, and Red able to leave. Purple deciding, you know what, I'll take the hit for this one. I'll just come in with my next army afterwards. And Blue has found a much safer woodline to continue. So, yeah, the Argentinian team has definitely recovered after Red's rough start. Does Teal have ballistics? Teal does not have ballistics. So they're just trying to fight uphill. And Red's just trying to run somewhere. Maybe Red assumes that Teal has ballistics at this point in the game, and so they're just trying to run away. Red also coming in with archers on this side, and Yellow coming in, and Blue are calling the GG. Oh, it looks like such a great start to the game, but they just took that really bad fight on the right side, and then they went up to Castle Age with no army. It was an unnecessary fight to take. They just misjudged it, probably because Blue Philip forgot to get fletching. It's a weird upgrade to forget. I guess you make your blacksmith and just don't consider it, or you won't get that greedy in a multiplayer game. Lots of crossbowmen made, lots of scouts made, lots of knights made. Nothing really uncommon in this matchup except for the lack of fletching. KD, who's the best KD? I mean, it feels like Sobek. I don't know. Where was Sobek taking these great fights that gave such a good KD? I must have missed them. Did lose 4 buildings. I don't know if that includes houses or something. But yeah, it just felt like the German team wasn't able to keep their villagers alive. And they weren't that far behind in villagers overall. Red was definitely able to come back compared to Turs and Philip. Having those towers helped so much, it feels like. The towers were more valuable than selling their stone almost. Just reduces the points of aggression. So we're all tied up. Whoops. Going into the last game. All right, we are in game 7. The decider on Thar Desert. On the left side, we have Acro playing as the Persians. Almost like the wrong side of the map, it feels like. Then we have Philip playing as the Britons, and we have Turs playing as the Vikings close to the water. where longboats could do a lot of damage. Other side of the map in this kind of Lombardia style setup, we have Sobek playing as the Georgians. Yellow, we have Pella playing as the Britons. Britons picked for both players as their first pick. And then to fight on the water, I guess, so to speak, is Red Beery playing as the Malay. Resources are fairly standard. Just have decent forests, but players might go to the outside for... I guess there's not really much forest. There's more forest in the middle. There's small stone piles in the middle as well, so center control is a little bit important, but I imagine most of the fights will just be on one side of bases or the other. And then, of course, you can try to fight for water, but water isn't like so influential that you're going to win the game by controlling water. You could definitely lose the game by underinvesting on water. Did someone just invite me to play a game? Yes, Sean did. So it's interesting that the what you would normally have like as a flank position, because there's water in this map, the flank just picks the center TC. Like both players have kind of adopted that, where they have Britons as the center position. Britons definitely don't feel like the best civ on this, but I guess you're kind of limited to what you're left with. You don't get to pick the best civ. Georgians feel solid because they can get a pretty fast uptime. And Yellow abandoning that last Ibex to instead go scout where? Oh, maybe push in this Ibex instead. Red taking in the elephants after pushing all of the Ibex towards their base. And Yellow, yeah, looks like they're going to be pushing that one instead. Blue 4 on wood is out here to dock, and Red with a much more passive dock. Blue's trying to maximize, I guess, the amount of fish that are nearby the dock. And then, yeah, both scouts just trying to patrol, see where the dock is for the opponent. See if there's any villagers that aren't protected that could be attacked, but both players have walled in their villager. Is there a quick little bump? There was a quick little bump. Blue did a little quick bump on Red and then just kept moving, and Red's like, okay, I need scouting, I can't just chase you. First one up is the Georgians, no surprise there. Maybe going up, yeah, going up without loom. Georgians are actually the civilization I'm doing next in Meals of Empires. I already have all their meals planned out. But I just love their voice lines. That tree just gets me. Beautiful. Let me... Yeah, I am caught up. Okay. Purple scouting now their opponent. Doesn't see anything yet. Sees the house. Ooh, getting a little bit close to that town center. And Yellow's gonna jump on that. Oh wait, Yellow's on the same team. Colors get me sometimes. And yeah, Yellow pings. I guess that there's no production building. Maybe that's where they're gonna attack first. Purple and Yellow. Go for the player that's most exposed. Go for the sheep. No, we've seen so many sheep steals. Blue's got to be ready for this time. Alright, they're going for it. They're going for it. They're going for it. Alright, unsuccessful that time. Blue is ready. Just one dock for the moment. And now going out for gold. And Yellow's just sitting there with the scout. So frustrating. At least these villagers have loom. But imagine, like, trying to go out to gold and you're already gonna have scouts probably streaming into your base. Red stealing all the sheep again. Dude, these guys are so good at stealing sheep. They almost want the sheep to convert back. Yeah, they killed so many sheep off. They're so important for the eco, but of course you don't have that many villagers under there. You almost need a pen to pen them in. Or you just kill them on your TC so they're there to be used when needed. Blue not producing any units on water. Interesting. Should have enough gold, even after loom, to produce 1 fire. Red is not either. Just making archers. Okay. So neither player fighting... Oh, yeah, they're just going to fight on land. Maybe fighting on water at this point is just too much of a luxury. And, yeah. A few Georgian scouts. Going back and forth. Trying to take the hill. Teal didn't quite take the hill. Unfortunate. And I think you're going to need some spearmen to help with all these Georgian scouts that are going to heal as well. It's so frustrating. Where's Teal going? Teal just take the fight. I guess it is pretty far away from the main part of his economy. And so, yeah, we have double range over here. Fletching coming in for red. Red was also, like, first with fletching last game, though a little bit slow to produce units. And we have a nice wall off, actually. Purple's just missing a little spot right there, but shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, this German team's definitely showing some fatigue, it feels like. Especially with that fight being misjudged, forgetting fletching that last game. And just running all those scouts in. Now down 3 military units. Blue regrouping archers. And you can't really go out, I feel like, with archers unless you have your teammate there to support with some scouts. You more or less want to be completely together. Teal finishing off the wall off to the side of the map. Purple doing it a little bit more slowly. Yeah, Teal scouts completely out of position here. I guess Purple doesn't want to go in without supporting the archer as well. And here comes Teal with the Persian scouts. And they decide to move back a little bit more. But Red's pinging there. Okay, gonna go for their own little approach. Similar to last game, where it felt like Yellow and Purple were working more together. And Red was just like the lone wolf just moving on their own. Has notified that there's... Needs to knock that. Yeah, knock it. And then one more. One more. Right here. Oh, I mean, there's so many holes, actually. You're just giving your villagers time to get under the town center. And then you're limiting how much Red can run around. Yeah, okay, so not the worst thing in the world. Meanwhile, Teal leaving Green a little bit exposed. Green's like, where do I go? What does Green see? I mean, it's gotta be scary. You're like, I don't know. People could just jump on me anytime. Teal doesn't want to leave, I guess, this unexposed, or this exposed area open. And Red forcing a lot of blue archers out of position to chase. Meanwhile, Red's finishing the fish boom and damaging the fish of blue. Fish boom of blue. Wow, I'm losing my words now. Whereas blue just has a galley out. Where's the rest of... Okay, Red's coming across now with the rest of their archers. And a little bit of fight over here. Teal just doesn't have the scout numbers, though. Green does have quite a few archers. More archers than Yellow. Defender's advantage, I guess. But yeah, competing against Georgians can be very difficult, especially when Georgian scouts are just healing right now as they patrol on the top of that mountain. And Teal has been very wasteful with their units. The only one to lose villagers so far has been Turs to those few archers that came in. Or maybe that's from the fishing ships. Move over to KD real quick. Yeah, 1-8 with Acro's scouts. And most of that has been dying to the Georgian scouts themselves. And now they feel like they have enough of an advantage to try to move in. House wall behind is the play, and a second stable now for the Persian player. And red archers are in again. Where did blue's archers go after that? Oh, they're all the way over here. Wow, they really had to chase. That's frustrating. Teal built the second stable. Okay, he is producing out of both stables now as well. Purple, meanwhile, at home. Third stable even. Okay. They feel like they have a timing, maybe? I don't know. Third stable feels a little odd. When everyone's walled like this. Like, you don't have a big spike. Are you just trying to outproduce your opponent and then finally take a fight? And now blue's in the matchup as well. Red just sending archers home instead of fighting in the middle. And yeah, it's going to be difficult. Clearly, oh wow, that's actually even because there's so many Georgian scouts. Even, almost even in terms of HP. And of course, the Georgian scouts just heal a little bit as they're touched, as they're pinged. Look at this. They're like, you can't touch me. There's nothing you can do. And red first one up to Castle Age off that fish boom. And winning the water as well with the fires. Much easier to control on top of the archers. And crossbow can do a lot in this matchup. Blue's a little bit out of position here. Probably worried about two archers in the back of his base. So frustrating. Blue's like, oh, I see them. I got them. They're right there. I'll ping that. You guys know. I see it. Blue could, of course, go back on water if they wanted to. They're concerned that red was having a big fish boom, but it really does feel like water plays a more minor role in this matchup. And this is just desert Lombardia with less hills and closer town centers. Has the Georgian player lost? Oh, Georgia's just now getting horse color. So, wasn't the cleanest economy. Yeah, they've lost one scout. In all of this matchup. You know, Turs has actually lost the most units here. 9 to 15. Though I guess that was, yeah, fighting against red. And now the units are moving back a little bit. Everyone's just trying to get inside the walls, it looks like. Because we have red up to the next stage. Yeah, everyone's just sitting in the walls. But the Georgians are coming through as well. I mean, you can't really do much about that. Thinking about a tower, deciding, no, that's actually not going to do the trick. And yeah, Georgians have a big advantage here. Red already getting ballistics as well. Blue just now getting double bit axe. Not ideal. But in these very aggressive tile matches, you do have to kind of give up your economy upgrades in favor of mass military. And yeah, purple's wasn't too concerned with going up, it seems like. It was just mass, so many scouts that I can take the fight once my teammate gets crossbowmen and ballistics. But yellow, yeah, yellow's trying to wait for their own upgrades as well. Big fight here. Nice choke point for these green crossbowmen to kind of help out. And I don't know which way to call it, but it feels like the game is going to be decided here. Blue just forced to take the fight against red crossbowmen. Yeah, just try to wait, I guess, until the end. Teal and purple are going to be up at similar times, it feels like. And blue just waiting for those last archers to get upgraded before they really fully engage. So it's up to green to just kind of hold this off. They're really the one supplying most of the killing power in this matchup. Teal's just there to get arrows to fly the wrong way. Force the miss micro of the ballistics that both these players have. And it feels like purple could dive on economies at the moment. But, yeah. I don't know. Just try to counter micro instead. Yellow is getting ballistics now as well. Blue's getting bodkin. And red's just streaming units across the field with how many ranges? 4 ranges. 4 Malay ranges. And this is definitely a matchup where Malay have been very successful with their timing window. Very deceptive how many crossbowmen are there, all stacked up. 18 crossbowmen. And we just have... so dumb. This is so dumb. Deleting the lumber camp just to get a little bit closer. Green's just going to target the crossbowmen instead of trying to target the scouts. Scouts are just doing split micro left and right, literally. Military count is definitely still in favor of the Argentinian team who are streaming units across the map, but there obviously is a defender's advantage here. Tourists forced to sell food for gold to keep up crossbow production, I assume. Lycav in for both players. And we do have armor coming in. I think the Knights might be able to do something here to push them back, but Pella still has a lot of Britain crossbowmen. And seems to almost have like blocked this choke point. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Blue trying to add more ranges now. Definitely behind in production compared to the Malay player. And Yellow deciding to potentially build a town center back here. If these villagers want to figure out what they're doing instead of just standing on the foundation, all stuck together. So yeah, it looks like the Argentinian team have taken a lead, and now they are just going to take an eco advantage off of this as they slowly get pushed back. What's up, development? Palisades are very easy to break. They're gambling with that third stable to break in. Yeah, that makes sense. Bad coordination from DS and taking fights. Germans seem more coordinated. I mean, they have seemed more coordinated this entire set, but at the same time, the Argentinian team just feels like they have a group of better players. So it's down to, the matchup really is coordination versus experience, individual experience. But I think just getting the town centers up faster in this kind of situation might be able to make the difference. Maybe Teal can get some raids in here and there. And, ooh, I like this. Adding docks to make sure that Red doesn't have a free fish boom. Though Red really hasn't taken that liberty. They've mainly just been focusing on the mass production of military. Very similar military numbers, despite the fact that it looks like the Argentinian team has retreated. They're just sitting on the few little hills that are available. But yeah, you can definitely see the coordination where all players are kind of coming over to the side like this. Just not bothering with that hill. And trying to get in on their own palisades. Feel like they have to do some work, but that is a lot of Georgian scouts. Or sorry, not scouts, knights. And so we have one player moving back at almost, and then one player moving forward. No idea who has more military here. But obviously, defender's advantage always applies. Really feels like Turs has not been taking the best fights with his military. And they do need to help out a little bit to make sure that these green crossbowmen can retreat at the same time. Turs adding longboats. I mean, you can't really range anything. Oh, no, you can range things. I forgot. This is all saleable terrain. So the longboats could go in there, but it really feels like you just need to produce land military. And that's what makes the biggest difference. That's the biggest decider in how these fights turn out. I wish that we had an overall KD. I guess I can just see who's positive, who's negative. Purple's actually pretty negative, but they're just the meat shields. That makes sense. Teal's the most negative. 9 to 45 have not been able to get anything out of their units. Philip has been positive by a big margin, so Philip has been doing a lot of good micro. Maybe just targeting the crossbowmen on the opposite flank instead of the dancing Georgian knights and scouts. Oh, I didn't notice this about capture age, but you have the little skulls on the bottom left side of units that were selected but are no longer with us. Teal going out to this lumber camp, though. That lumber camp is actually too good, and these lumberjacks can't actually do anything with that lumber camp. And longboats coming out now, and are going to pick off the few fishing boats, and then probably sail right up the river. I don't know if that's going to be able to make a difference, though. Vil count isn't too much. I thought these TCs were going to go up a lot later for this other team, but hasn't made that big of a difference. Red's still on 1 TC as well. And maybe purple can move out with, or move ahead with this 3rd TC. People are pinging. Oh, fast imp here for blue. Very interesting. So maybe just saying, hey, let's sit on this rock right here and just wait for me to get Arbalest. I wonder what it took to get the faster imp timing. Because it feels like Malay could have done the same thing. Malay love those timings. That's what they live for. The TC positionings are almost identical for the 2 players. I guess purple has one way here on the back. We have some outposts in the back as well. Maybe just to see what resources are out there. Look at these armies. It's kind of interesting that they're not engaging. You at least want to see like where your opponents are. I guess they're assuming they know where all the armies are. Are they going to sit back? Or are they going to attack? I guess green's going to try to take the brunt of the damage. Sit in front of blue's crossbowmen. Just so blue can make the most of all the upgrades that'll come in soon. The ARB upgrades. Ooh, red just walked right into that one. Look at that stacking. So fun. And longboats, as expected, are causing havoc over here. Gonna force some sort of reaction as they sail up this little channel. Yeah, forcing red to move some fires back here. And art is gonna wall up, as you was mentioned you can do. So it almost needs some longboats just sitting here to make sure that wall up happens. Arbalest Bracer... Or sorry, Arbalest chemistry in, but no Bracer yet. Maybe just can't quite afford that. It's interesting you go for Arb first. Maybe for the intimidation effect, because it does change the look of things. And, oh, actually blocking up your own fire as well. Why aren't these... Oh, actually microing the vills. It almost looked like an AI. Is it microing the vills? Or it might just be based off of the vills moving. This is such a funny wall off. Got a wall to the shore, but can't wall here, or just making sure they can't get around. Interesting. Blue making the most of the timing. Bracer coming in now. And red and yellow are just going to sit back, it looks like. And let red take the brunt of the pain in their eco. Yeah, it almost felt like they wanted to kill red and force red back, and then have the longboats here to continue to do the damage. But blue can stream in some knights now. A few at least anyways. And allow them to feast on any red's vills back here that are unprotected. Red's got a panic TC now, and just pretty much evacuating their TC. So I think the German team is still in this, despite the early start that looked a little rough. Purple also streaming a few knights into the back of the German team's eco. Arbs on the front, just sitting under this TC. And I think it was game 1 or game 2, ended with the German team just killing a town center, just sitting underneath the town center. And it looks like they found more red vills to kill off. And oh, the Arbs need some help. Okay, there's enough knights here, I think, to meet shields. And yeah, Arbs are going to melt these knights. This actually might not be the worst find in the world. The entire Argentinian team is up, though. So there's a limited amount of time for these units to take this fight and make the most of it. Because it looks like this entire army is going to be wasted. Green is going to be up soon as well, but I don't think Teal is going to be up anytime soon. Teal's job is just to make as many knights as possible. And limit, I guess, any expansion towards the middle. If you have no middle expansion, you have no stone, I think. I don't think there's any... Oh, yeah, I don't think there's any stone back here. So yeah, it feels like Teal should just be... I don't know, using the knights for raid more than anything. But we still have units continuously coming across. A mix of camels and knights here. from our Persian player. And the Persian player is now clicking up to Imp. What's the Vil count look like? 40 down for the Argentinian team. A demo feels like it would be huge, but I don't think it would actually be able to land. So do they just sit on one hill and patrol, stand micro? Because, like, I don't think they get back out of this. They're just slowly continuing down here. Maybe the Knights take the fight while the range units try to flee? Or do you just sit on that hill? Oh yeah, of course the Britons with the extra range too make that a little bit difficult. Rough. And yeah, look at this. This is dumb. This is dumb. Teal's trying to do the same. I mean, it allows green and yellow to focus on other areas, of course. Though this isn't the ideal. This is clearly not where blue's focusing, unfortunately. Just sending him into the tower now, realizes... I like the water aspect, but the fact that this was walled off so easily just turns this into a very Arabia-esque map. Purple has expanded quite well out here, and I feel like units might be hesitant to wander into this because it's such a choke-pointy area. How many stables do we have? 10 stables for our Georgians player, and now trying to take a little bit of center control with buildings as well. Adding some light cab as well. Maybe just because they're running out of gold already? Or maybe just hesitant after that Anza Borrego game where they did run out of gold. So yeah, players are definitely forced back on the German team, but are going to take some good engagements. Everyone is up to the Imperial Age now. Blue immediately getting coinage. Is that to help someone out? Maybe that was a misclick, actually. And they actually wanted to get the upgrade to increase the speed of their trade card. I forget what that technology is called. Teal Xing where the castle is for the Georgian player right in the middle. Georgian castle is very hard to dislodge. And yeah, the villagers right next door to repair are going to make that even harder. Is Teal going to try to quick wall this? Yes, yes, yes. Nice. Nicely done. It almost felt like the villagers were going to make a mistake there for a second, but Campbells and Knights are able to find a position. And we still have Knights in the back, forcing Red to put the crossbows in the back as well. So Red only on 37 villagers. So not contributing too much to the game. Very much got cleaned up. So if Blue and Green can actually get shots on these Briton Arbalists without Purple being a menace with the patrol, or the what do you call that? The split micro. But yeah, now with the castles up, it might just turn into a castle war. Yellow repositioning with Purple, trying to find a new avenue of attack. That is a lot of Briton Arbalists. 102. Green's Xing over here. Oh, these Hussar are trying to get in from the Georgians. Gonna try to clean them up with the Arbalesters. It might be difficult. And now another forward Georgian castle. So it really feels like this team needs to take a fight here to prevent this castle from going up. But there's so many Arbalesters. I don't know how Yellow made this many. I guess he just didn't lose them like the other team did when they ran through the back of the base. Oh, we have scrims in the mix too. It's interesting how fast the HP is going down for both players. Scrims are purposely targeting the Arbalesters. And now that the castle's up, I imagine they're going to move back. And we have Hussar that have made it their way in. And are being very frustrating to all these players. Causing a big distraction. Green just on skirm at the moment. I guess, yeah, all the players ran out of gold. So they're limited to whatever their trash version of their unit is. It's looking very promising now for the Argentinian team. Even with Red mostly out of the game. The other players are able to form a forward position. And once you have stone access too, it almost feels like kind of a runaway effect. Green has had stone down here because red's kind of been out of the game. They've been untouched. Green and blue have a very narrow avenue of attack around this castle to try to take out this yellow arb mass. Where are the longboats? Oh, there's still longboats back here, okay. I guess they're trying to snipe the trade. That makes sense. Or prevent any of this gold being taken. That's why blue still has arbs and green is on skirms now. Because blue has the arbs in the back. Teal just kind of left using their army to take care of the raids in the back. But I'm wondering if the trade will be able to make the difference here. Blue started attempting to take out this Georgian castle. Those repairs are going to make that very difficult, and this Shreb feels very exposed. That's like 6 Hussar. Okay, yeah, that's plenty of Hussar to do the job. Teal on how many bills? 109 bills compared to the Georgians, 137. So definitely can't be producing the same amount of Hussar. Still producing out of 8 stables, so that's impressive. But also they're just running into Arbalest. Not ideal. Teal really needs these blue Arbalesters to be in the fight over here on the right side, so he doesn't just completely lose all of his economy. Trying to drop more stables. I mean, he still needs more villagers too. Only producing out of 2 town centers now. 4 town center did go down to the Trebs. Ooh. I was wondering if those were... oh, these are Georgian Trebs, so they wouldn't have the Britain's unique tech, whose name I've forgotten now. Panic Castle here for Teal. Unable to produce enough units to combat this ever-ending wave of Hussar. And these skirms aren't really contributing much. Skirms were here to deal with the Arbalesters from the Britons. Meanwhile, we have fires here to help deal with the longboats. And some castles being set up to protect the trade. But it feels like the Georgians player is going to make the difference here before trade really comes into a factor. That and all these Britain Arbalesters that just don't seem to die. I mean, he is down to 75 versus 100 from before, but that's just making room for trade. Yeah, 58 versus 23, so yellow still has twice as much. They got a commanding lead in a lot of these fights. Castle Stacks remains in the middle. I don't really see what it is that the German team can do in this situation. Obviously, they don't want to bow out in the last game of the set too early when they still have a chance. But yeah, I don't know what the composition here is. It's almost like they need their trade to kick in enough that they can make Savar. Like they just send all the gold to the Persian player to make Savar. And they win good enough fights without actually taking out the castles. Blue just now getting horsepower. And Blue's Castle's not going to stay up too long either. Didn't even have a chance to research citadels to make it a gunpowder castle. These farms are all dead. Still working on remaking TCs in the back. They're like, oh yeah, my castles are taking out the mule cart. We still have a chance. Zero siege on the field. Oh, we have one. Okay, two trebuchets from blue. Where's the second one? Or is that just in production? Okay. We're trickle trebbing. Oh no, we have two right here. And I'm sure all the arbalests are there to protect them, right? Oh, no, they're not. Okay. So, have a few skirms to protect it then. And a garrison town center with 2 skirms in it. Yeah, Blue's Arb mass is down to 34. Mostly being produced over here and just forced to re-navigate over. Maybe sending one to this middle area to try to take red off wood. Because this, I guess, could turn into a wood game. Maybe that's what they're relying on. Maybe they think, oh, the DLC's out. Maybe you can get trade from or wood from trade. But they are playing on a patch that's like 3 patches back. But that's not the case yet. This trebuchet has stayed alive. Slowly doing damage, but I imagine purple has so much res in the bank to work with. Teal down to 54 villagers. 53 villagers. And still just spamming Hussar. I'm guessing just being provided food from the teammates to produce Hussar. Treb went down for blue. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sold 100 food for 28 gold. There's actually gold still in the market. Now getting heavy plow. And yeah, green's just stuck on skirms. I guess red's forced to make skirms too. Might be a promising sign here. And teal finally with enough Hussar to take a good fight, it feels like. Is gonna win that fight. I guess, yeah, purple just took their foot off the gas on the Hussar production. Purple was about to 4 TC. Oh boy. Yeah, they just don't have anything to deal with these Arbalists. I mean, they're one-shotting skirms. You need to pack so many skirms. And the GG comes in with the congrats. Honestly, both these teams have been very good in terms of sportsmanship. Something that can't be said about the higher tier players, but I'm glad that both these teams were very sportsmanlike. They both played pretty brilliantly. I enjoyed all of these matches very much. But you can see how many, so many scouts being made. I wish there was a bit more to the water on this map, so it didn't just feel like Lombardia. But definitely unique all the same. This last point goes to the Argentinian team to take the tournament. Military KD, Britons, yeah, we're shining. We could see that. Pella really could use the Briton range really well. And I think Philip had a good KD to begin with, but just wasn't taking the best fights and then forced not to skirm. And then, yeah. Georgians were a big highlight for me as well in that game. Just having a superior eco, it felt like, throughout a lot of the game. Teal, I guess, a little bit ahead at points with the Persian economy. But then once the trouble came to his economy, to his base, it was very hard for him to stay consistent with the production. The early attack seemed good, but I think they needed some sort of siege to follow it up. Obviously a tall ask. And then, yeah, once they took the middle, I think from there it was going to be very difficult for... once the Argentinian team took the middle, I think it's hard ask for the German team to come back.